Materials in Gastonia. At Quality Landscape Materials, they strive to deliver high-quality, value-priced landscape products and services. From mulch to pine needles, from sand to lava rock to stone, plus natural and precast stone building products, including natural field stone, pavers, wall systems, and fire pit and fireplace kits. Just call 704-862-0770. But come on by and see for yourself. Quality Landscape Materials, located at 3925 West Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia.
She put 'em out like the burning end of a midnight cigarette.
Get ready to explore America with an incredible new RV from Campers Inn RV of Kings Mountain. We're celebrating our country this July with our Keys to Freedom RV sale. Find unbelievable pricing on top brands like a 2018 Forest River Acadia 29 LT with single slide and double bunks, just $17,495. These deals won't last long. Visit Campers Inn RV of Kings Mountain to pick up your keys to freedom today. We are the RVer's trusted resource, exit 8 off I-85. I'm Calvin Hastings for Renato Auto Mall Smart Service. What smart service, you say? Smart service is, to put it simple, speed, quality, and competitive pricing. Renato Auto Mall has brought back many of the old-time quality procedures and added some more. You get fast service oil changes, plus tire rotation, plus lube, and then they'll clean your glass and give your car a wash, all while you wait. Now that's smart service, speed, quality, and competitive pricing at Renato Auto Mall, where you get service at a high level of efficiency and speed. Located at 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right below the Cleveland Mall.
Man, I only do things incredible can, cause I am seed of a chosen breed. You don't see too many like me, cause I am one of the reasons you do what you do when you wanna be me instead of you, cause I am still on beat, showing love to the streets. Come on, you know me, cause that's who I am.
Welcome into Saturday morning sports talk. Kevin is not. He didn't spill the water.
He did not.
That's impressive. That's what it's really about. Is not spilling
That's
the
an
beverage.
athlete right there.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's well, technically yes.
I got good feet, man. Herschel Walker was a ballerina. I did not take any ballerina, but I just did. I knew that, so it made me have good feet. Was my excuse. What do you think, Terry? No, not going with that. All right. Good morning, okay. I'm tired. I just ran the 40-yard dash about 7 times in a row up and down the hallway. So let me catch my breath. Good morning. What'd you guys have for breakfast? While I catch my breath and take a sip of my water that I didn't spill.
I had some rice and gravy with some liver mush.
Yeah, Terry had a whole platter. I had the classic liver mush, egg and cheese on a bun.
What you waiting on?
Terry hasn't given me mine yet. So
Yeah. Oh no.
Well,
maybe somebody's.
Calvin's not coming in this morning. You're safe.
Oh, okay.
So come on in here.
That means I still got.
Come on in here and get your biscuit. Say hello to America, the worldwide, and everyone on the world wide web. YouTube.com if you're watching today. I know we got a couple of viewers making the trek across the United States today, this morning, Terry, watching us online, and a few listening to us online as well. We also have the way we're getting it set up, folks. You can always go back and, of course, watch the YouTubes. We're starting to get all of our broadcasts, all of our, let's see, that was sports broadcasts, morning shows, afternoon shows. We're getting everything loaded up. We're going to start having everything recorded for you guys, and you can go back and watch them, listen to them on the podcast. For you podcast fans, Terry, you have any idea what a podcast is?
Oh yes, I know what a podcast
Yeah, Terry
is.
loves podcasts.
What's a podcast, Terry?
Well, I mean,
explain it to America.
explain it to America. Now, I'm not going to go in detail. I mean,
Terry, give me the origin of the word podcast.
yeah, I mean, I know some fellow guys that I have worked with. They have their own podcast, and it's live talk shows, and which go into and how would I put podcast? Podcast is one of them things that you can use all kind of different languages and speak in different terms, and I mean,
You don't have any FCC regulations?
Yeah, you're
on
not
that?
limited.
pretty much not. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah, that's what's fun about some of our football broadcasts. I tell the announcers, please don't say nothing stupid. But if you accidentally did, it's really probably not that big.
It's
of a
not
deal.
the end of the world.
If you're,
Yeah,
if you're
it's
just on the
not.
YouTube broadcast, so every now and then, Andy Foster gets crazy, might let a few loose lips go right. Nah, Andy and the gang last night, guys. Shelby won again, 2-0. They've only lost one game on the season. They're now up 2-0. And before I get into that, sorry, we're going to talk about that. We got all kinds of things. We got American Legion to talk about. We've got NASCAR racing to talk about. What's today's date? Where am I at? 15th? 14th? We got Braves in Arizona. We've got Quaker State 400 today. Training camp kickoff is coming. Training camp kickoff. We're going to talk about some interesting Panthers things for the past week. Contract negotiations. How things end up in contracts.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about training camp. Is this the last one at Wofford? Probably.
I would imagine.
And some other things. There was an interesting tweet from Bill Rosinski. Did you see that one?
I did not.
Yesterday. It said I saw that the man who wanted me out, or was responsible for him basically leaving the Panthers, was escorted out of the building. Is the way he put it on Twitter yesterday. He said glad Tepper's something about good job Tepper, or something to that nature. Some interesting information on that for you for old Panthers fans or older Panthers fans. You kind of remember Mr. Rosinski, and I remember them starting off, and of course he was all on our stations and everything. So I do remember a great announcer. He was the voice of the Panthers, and so I think there was a little animosity there with some of that. His son Bobby, I went to App with, a really good friend. He's the one doing over there in Charlotte now, a good guy, and congratulations to him on everything. But yep, know them kind of well, and maybe there was something there with that. You never know. Training camp coming up is July 26th is the Wofford College open practice session, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to give you some parking directions, maybe some questions for some folks that have never been, that want to go, and stuff like that. So we always go down and like to see them practice a little bit, get a quick look at them, Terry, and we'll talk about some of their draft picks and what to look forward to the Panthers in a little bit. But the most important thing, I guess, this morning, Terry, is you want to welcome some of our listeners over in Lincoln County on the other side of the radio dial this morning.
yeah, 107.5 now FM is alive and well. I was tuned in the other day, and somebody sent me a text of how does it sound. It come in as clear as it's in my backyard. This morning had a few little niches, but everything, we'll work on it a little bit. It'll be back up and ready to run. But it sounded great the other evening.
Ready just in time for American Legion World Series, high school football. We got to talk about all of that coming up. The schedule, gosh, we got to talk about that every Saturday coming up. We've got every game covered on the radio of the American Legion World Series. We got football Friday night schedule. We'll go over that in just a minute. We're going to get into the American Legion playoffs in just a second. Let's start with the schedule and everything else that's going on for this weekend, tonight, and everything else, and then we'll get into the actual what's going on in the American Legion. Like I said, tonight we've got, and I'm not sure if the Braves, we still have that scheduled. Maybe Dad can let me know here in a little bit. We got racing WCSL. I think we got Braves and racing today on WCSL. Cherryville Post 100, however, will be on WLON tonight. So if you folks want to listen, tune into that. For you folks on the other side of Cherryville may not be able to get the WLON feed, you can always tune in to KTCBroadcasting.com at the very top of the page, whether it's on your phone, tablet, your laptop, desktop, or whatever. The big green button says click here to listen live. If you'll click on that, that brings up our radio player. All three stations are on that. That's where you can find all our podcasts. You can actually get into our Facebook, our Twitter, our YouTube. You can watch our YouTube on that player. That player does everything. That's a really cool player if you can find that and just save that on your phone, bookmark that on your phone, and just pull it up anytime and get connected with KTC. But Cherville Post 100 will be tonight at Burke County. Milton and Danny will have that. That'll be game 2 tonight. Last night they won, Terry, in the first game 2-0 in a squeaker there in Cherville, and usually you don't see a lot of 2-0 games there at Cherville Fraley Field, do you?
Well, you do not, and I know Robbie Cowie and Walls, I think, ended up finishing it off. But
yeah.
Burke County gave them all they wanted. Burke County come in with only probably a handful of victories or a little more for the year, but they went through Maiden in the first round and then advanced on to play Cherville. And, and when you see stuff like that, and Coach Reynolds, I know he's been there before. He understands, and he had Cowie on the mound because, you got to win game 1. You got to get a notch up. And sometimes coaches do different things, but he sent one of his best guys out there, and he took the show to him. And 2-0 victory, a good win, gets them off on the right track in this series, and kind of puts a little damper into other teams' little ego if they thought, hey, man, we're here now, So.
Well, Terry's welcome everybody on 107.5 FM in Lincoln County, while Cherville Ironman football this fall, Cherville Post 100 now, is officially on 92.3 FM in Cherville. If you guys came into town, listen to it this morning, sounding good. Listen to the country music, rock it on KTC. That's big news here, of course, in Cherville and in Lincoln. You got the FM, of course. They're sister stations. They will be playing the same thing. So WLON 1050 AM. Nothing's going to change. Just depends where you are. Pick up whichever signal you want. Feel free. Always listen on KTCBroadcasting.com. So Cherville, if you're listening now on 1590 AM, you have been on 1050 AM, guys, in Lincoln. Switch over to the FM dial. Try us out today. Try us out this week. Listen to Calvin and Milton this week. Coming up, 107.5 in Lincoln, 107.5 in Lincoln, 92.3 in Cherville, 92.3 Cherville. Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your cousin, your aunt, sister. Anybody else I leave out, Carson?
I don't think anybody that you want to remember at that point.
Yeah, nobody. Friends? You got any friends?
Well,
if you like them, you got any friends? Do you like Carson?
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a difference between friends and friends I like.
I got about 25. I got a lot of friends since Facebook. I got 2 or 3 that I like. Yes, Terry.
Yeah.
All right. So Cherville tonight will be at called Shuey Field in Morganton. Shuey Field in Morganton. And as I always want to thank Richard Howe for all the information. Terry has mentioned that the Burke County Maiden first round upset. Burke County went with 6-10 on the season. Maiden came in this finished the season at 12-6 in conference, and then Burke County beat them, and they've moved on here to face Cherville, and they gave Cherville a 2-0 ball game at Fraley Field. So Burke County coming on strong here recently.
Yeah, and you kind of wonder what happened to Maiden. I know a lot of people say, well, some kids went on vacation, et cetera, et cetera. I think, and I understand. I guess I get in a commitment. Once I commit to something, I'm going to stick it through all the way through, whether I'm in it to the end or not.
That's a senior thing, and a lot of kids don't want to miss their senior grad week, and you got mamas and daddies telling you that, and girlfriends, and that's probably the one thing. Is girlfriends telling you to go to the beach.
I guess if you're going to do it, you do it early while the season's going on. You rebound and you come back in the playoffs. But to have it when you get to the playoffs, I think that's a whole different story.
I thought that was, the reason they basically put that 2-week gap into the schedule is so you don't have situations like this where, I remember I did score. I kept score for Post 23 for one game 5 or 6 years ago. And they only had 9 guys. One guy gets hurt, breaks his pinky, and they finish out the game with 8 guys.
Yeah.
So, it's one of those things that, that's why they put that into the schedule. So you would think that that's when guys would be smart enough to take vacations. But at the same time, there's other extenuating circumstances. So it's not like you can box all that into one thing. Yeah.
Well, looking, so Cherville's up 1-0. They'll be going to Shuey Field in Morganton tonight. Shelby, Terry's got his newspaper in this morning. Tom, if you're watching, that's what I was mentioning. Crossing country, Tom, Terry, if he's awake, and I doubt he's driving this morning. I think he stayed out a little late last night, and he maybe she's got a permit. Maybe Anna's getting her first cross country driving trip. He's supposed to. He's going to call us through the hills of West Virginia. He's supposed to. I don't know if he's made it there by the time he's woke up, and give us a report from Ohio on the feelings of LeBron and what was going on there.
Because as soon as he crosses the border, he just becomes one with everyone.
Well, now he's not a Lakers fan. I'll tell you that right.
Oh no, yeah.
But he's going to call us here in a little bit. Feel free to call us whenever you want, Tom, if you can get that headache.
I think he needs to pull into some restaurant and get their opinions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why you do that, Tom? Tom,
Just wave his phone around, put it on speaker, and just, hey guys,
What
y'all
do you think
talk
about LeBron today?
Yeah. Hey, we're live on the radio in North Carolina, and they want to know what you guys think about LeBron. Well, we might not want to tell them. They might say something bad.
No, I was gonna say that's
That might have
four-letter
to be a
words. Yeah.
podcast.
We'll have to.
Yeah,
on the podcast.
that's exactly
We'll
right.
have to get the.
That's
beat.
right, Terry.
We gotta get JP on the beat button in there. Is what we
Yeah,
need.
quick finger on that.
Shelby's up 2-0 after a 9-0 victory last night over at Belmont Abbey Yard. They play tonight at Keeter Stadium, looking for the sweep as they've won the first two games, 5-3 and 9-0 respectively. Gaston Braves were 12-10 in the season. Shelby 21-1 coming into the series. The other side of the bracket, so the winner of that will play each other. So everyone needs to know that. Shelby, if they win, and Cherville, if they win, yes, folks, they will play each other in the next round. Now, the winner of that round will go to the state. Last year, both teams made the state, and both teams, for the first time in history, did not win a game. Area 4 teams did not win a game, and that was just shocking to everyone. We're down there with Shelby and Cherville, so we got two teams to cover. And usually we're there for one team and we're there 3, 4, 5 days, and then boom, we're there out in 2 days. We're like, we had to apologize to the hotel. We was like, look, we thought we was gonna be here all week.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Can we have our money back?
Yeah, you just never fathom it. You know how matchups happen and bad luck, and you just didn't have it. And one of them's gonna come. One of them might go back this year and be able to represent Area 4 again. I think they'll do well again. We'll have coverage of that if they do in the state tournament. It's at High Point, July 26th through the 30th. And after that, the regional, of course, is in Asheboro, August 1st to the 5th. And the World Series in Shelby, August 26th to the 21st. So if you're a baseball fan, American Legion fan, this is the best place to be is in North Carolina. You get state, regional, and World Series action here. If you too bad for the other states.
Yeah, they'll be all right.
They'll get the regional or the World Series, and we get them both here. But Asheboro, it's fun to go to that field. The infield is a AstroTurf infield.
Yeah.
So if it does rain, they squeeze that bad boy off, and they're playing very quickly, and it doesn't take long as they're not lightning down there. Henderson County, the 7 seed, versus Caldwell County, the 3 seed. Coming into this series, Henderson was 10-11.
The Birthday and Anniversary Club, Monday through
JP.
Friday at 7:30 on 92.3 FM and 1590 AM, WCSL, Cherryville, Gastonia.
Stop. That's okay. You still got me in there, JP? Yeah, I got you, Bubba. All right. Rutherford, Henderson County, first game won 15-10. So football score today,
that's
guys.
a Big Ten
15-10
score, yeah.
in game 1 on Friday last night in Granite Falls at MS Still Stadium. The ball was bouncing all around the park out there.
The air is just a little bit thinner.
Have you ever
there.
been out there at Granite Falls?
I mean, I've been through Granite Falls, never really stopped.
Carson, we're going to send you up there for a game one
you go.
time. And it's a big press box. Nice. They treat you nice up there. And they got it's at the old, was it middle school, elementary school? It used to be a football field, kind of, and so it's converted into a baseball field. The light poles are on the field. There used to be a scoreboard on the field, and they got it moved off the field. Our buddy Dustin Day that we used to work for us hit one. He said the ball skirted right under the bottom of the scoreboard, and the dang center fielder dove and caught it, slid under it. He said any other park, and the way that's shaped, because it used to be a football field. He said the place he hit it was 440.
Yeah, no, yeah, yeah.
So he made the play 400 plus. Any other stadium he'd have been in, he's trotting, and this kid made the best play ever. There's also a transformer in left field. Believe it or not, Carson, on the field. I can't make this up, isn't there, Terry?
I'm getting ready to say, yeah, that's how that is. I have been on
There's
the
a transformer on it.
field, in a state tournament, and it was in Selma, North Carolina. And there was a goalpost in center field. I mean, you had to play around that goalpost.
Yeah.
How do you get away with this stuff?
Why would you even put a game at that field
Exactly.
if that stuff happened?
They have state tournaments there, by the way.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying.
Why? How do they?
Hey,
How you get away with hosting?
They do a good job up there when they
I'm
do it.
sure
I mean,
they
do
do,
a great
like,
job.
hospitality-wise, but
There's
I mean,
a lot of seats, but it is just weird the way that why
there's a
the
goalpost on the field.
there's a
Good
scoreboard and
Lord.
a transformer. And I think there's a couple of drainage pipes and stuff out there too.
Oh,
you know,
God.
crates. There's just the outfit. The left fielder and center fielder got obstacles to dodge.
Yeah.
The right fielder's got like 50 extra feet because of the football field.
Yeah.
It's 400 down the right field line.
And you know something about ball fields that you don't understand. It's like playing in
I think
Major
they're
League
fun, like
Baseball,
seeing different
though.
fields like that.
I mean, where it's level, and then all of a sudden you got a hill that you got to climb on some fields, you know. And why would you have a hill on some fields?
I think it was was it Lexington that Shelby played this. It's one of those that right out there with Shelby played the state tournament, and Dan and Andy and I went out there. We had to travel out there and back, and they had a hill out in left field.
Yeah.
I thought it was pretty cool the way they had it because you could have done it a little bit different, but they had the hill it's basically like the green monster wall. They put the fence at the top of the hill with a little bit of room though, so if you hit the fence, so the ball stopped up there. But the way they had the fence after that, then they had fans sitting up there. So they had fans behind the fence on the top of the hill. So I thought that was pretty.
I mean,
neat
that is
fans
cool.
could
Yeah.
see it was you like could drive up to it, and they were picnicking up there, and I like over at South Point those folks that got the the party deck out there for the baseball guys. But I do like some of the nuances of the fields, but that's just weird having the transformer.
Yeah, and the fact that you're hosting the state tournament.
Yeah. I think that one bothers Carson more than
Just a little bit, yeah.
than the just basic home games. Rutherford County last night, Sims Park won. Gastonia won 4-0. The Rutherford County. Congratulations to Coach Josh Cobb and the gang on a Game 1 win at home Saturday tonight. And Game 3, they switched up where they would do home and away. They share with Far City Owls.
Yeah, I was gonna say both of these teams are also playing in CPL.
Oh yeah,
ballparks.
So Grizzlies and Owls, I guess they got to work around those schedules. They may even. I don't know if they're going to run into any other problems as far as time-wise.
I mean,
the
Grizzlies played Forest City last night in Forest City.
That might actually help this series.
They'll be home
considering
tonight.
They're just rotating back and forth. So.
I mean,
well, there you go, Terry. So Saturday and Sunday at McNair Field, Monday at Ashbrook High School. So there is a scheduling conflict on Monday if necessary.
well, I was gonna say that's the if necessary.
So the if necessary will be Game 4. That'll be the scheduling conflict. So if there is a win or loss, if Gastonia doesn't sweep, Game 4 Monday will be at Ashbrook, folks. Ashbrook, not Sims Park. I guess you guys will have Grizzlies game.
Yeah,
Monday.
I got a game Monday. Yeah.
All right, so there you go. JP is waving his arms at me, so tell me it's time for break. Listen, son, you can't come in here at 7:58 and start waving your arms at people, asking demanding where your biscuits are, telling Calvin he can't have steal your biscuit this morning.
That's why he come in late. He said, Terry's
Calvin's
still
not
got it."
coming in. And first of all, I did not ask where my biscuit was. You asked where my biscuit was.
Yeah, Calvin's not coming in. You're right. They don't have they do not have a remote today. We're gonna, I guess, have a nice weekend, and I hope everyone else enjoys it. So let's take a break. We're gonna come back, talk a little high school football. We got to get into that, the schedule, what's coming up this fall, and the American Legion schedule. We'll be back in just a few minutes. KTCBroadcasting.com.
When you shop our local advertisers, be sure to tell them you heard it on the radio. That way they'll know that their radio dollars they spend works for them and you too. Even in today's fast-moving world, radio remains the leading media to reach more people. 93% of Americans listen to AM/FM radio over the air. TV viewership is 89%, smartphone use is 83%, and personal computer use is 50%. So if you're a business owner, reach more people with the power of radio. If you don't tell it, you can't sell it. See the power of radio. WOHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, WCSL Cherryville. Online at KTCBroadcasting.com. Check out the monthly specials at the Cherryville Country Club, open to the public with no reservations required. It's prime rib the first Friday of each month, crab legs on the second Thursday and Friday of each month. It's steak and wine the third Thursday and Friday of each month, and fish camp night, fourth Thursday and Friday of each month. And don't forget about their Sunday buffet, 11 to 2, $16 for adults with discounts for kids. Plus, check out the Chicken on the Run bucket on Sundays. 8 pieces of chicken, 2 sides, and rolls for $14.50. Cherryville Golf and Country Club, Roy Acre Road, Cherryville.
Baseball players rely on lots of coaches. First base, third base, pitching and catching. But when it comes to insurance, you only need one coach, an Allstate agent. They'll help you with your insurance game plan. Plus, Allstate agents can bundle your coverage for your car, apartment, boat, motorcycle, and more. So you've got all your bases covered. Are you in good hands?
Hey, sports fans, call Allstate agent John Brown at 704-435-1920 today. Located at 503 East Main Street in Cherryville. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Beam Construction Company in Cherryville is now hiring. Right now, Beam Construction Company has job openings for carpenters and masons. Just apply at their office at 601 East Main Street in Cherryville. Since 1925, Beam Construction Company has been dedicated to building the future of the Piedmont regions of North and South Carolina, from schools to churches to town halls. For more information, call 704-435-3206 or visit the website at beamconstruction.com. Beam Construction Company, dedicated to building your future.
Take
Well,
your time,
I pick up
athlete.
my headphones. Y'all two just stared at each other like green Cheshire cats up
We
here.
was like, where's he at? Go ahead and talk.
They
Tim.
can't do nothing without me sitting there. It's like Carson don't host this show every Friday night. He can't say hello or anything.
Don't worry about
He
that.
demands on me to start it every week, and I said, no, Carson, that's your job. And
well,
I'll just sit here like
one
that.
day-
Shannon ain't gonna say anything.
Yeah. No, one day I'm gonna get one of them to break. I'm gonna put a time in. One of them will break.
I got to, let Shannon
I might
know
win
that.
this one, Carson.
He'll sit there and just stare at you.
No, yeah.
He won't move. He might get up and leave, Carson.
Terry's probably like a pro at chicken.
He's the closest to the door. He'll just like, he ain't gonna lose.
We'll start
So,
the weekend partly cloudy
JP.
and warm around the area today with moderate humidity levels. We do have a slight
I know you're not. Just hit the button.
There's a ghost that wants us to know the weather.
Yeah.
We're getting the weather in no matter what today. So we're going to talk a little high school football. We got our schedule up on the board. We've got our printed out pretty schedule we're going to put in the WhatsApp shopper here in the next week or so. Coming up, we've got American Legion World Series. It's going to interfere with our week 1 broadcast instead of we used to have week 2 American League. Week 1 we had our meetings and getting ready for the broadcast, getting prepared. Week 2 was American Legion World Series. Week 3 was high school football, and off and running we were. But now they've moved the American Legion World Series back a week, so week 1 is going to be a little bit weird. Let me go over that schedule. Then we're going to go over the rest of the schedule and then give a hot take 5 in the morning on Saturday without even looking at any rosters, talking to any coaches or anything. We know a little bit maybe, but we're going to give you a hot take 5. First of all, American Legion World Series will begin on Thursday. We will have every game on all 6 stations now, all 3 FM, all 3 AM stations, American Legion World Series. However, it will affect some of our football broadcasts on where you're going to listen to the games at. So Wednesday night is going to be the start of football season because they moved it back. Shelby will have to play at home on Wednesday night, August 15th, against Freedom. Terry, Shelby 1-0 after week 1.
I got a feeling. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Shelby will be 1-0.
Shelby, of course, the champions of the Cam Newton 7-on-7 drill. So Freedom's going to have to be 7-on-7 camp. So Freedom's got to be ready for the 5 wide in week 1. And I think Lance Warrenham's going to throw the ball over the field. New quarterback Isaiah Best. He's a big kid, transfer over from Burns a few years ago, and he can throw the ball around a little bit from what I see and hear. We'll have that. Okay, that'll be on Wednesday. WOHS 101.5 FM, 1390 AM. That's Wednesday night. Terry and Carson will have the pregame show on Wednesday night. They'll start that as usual, 5:30, and Shannon Allen will join them. We may have a few special callers since all of our teams really don't have anything to do on Wednesday, so we'll have our broadcast teams give you guys a call on that Wednesday and give you guys a quick preview of their games on Friday night as well. They'll also be previewing their games on Thursday, as they'll be doing our football broadcast teams will be doing the Thursday games at the American Legion World Series. So when you listen to those games, you also be getting a little taste of what's going to be on football Friday night on KTC. If you're watching on YouTube.com, you can watch here on Friday nights. What we got so far is a pregame show and our postgame shows. You can watch here in the studios and listen to all 3 shows. shooting around some ideas with Carson and the gang and some other guys about maybe kind of, you know, between the game, during the games, I know, Carson, once you leave and everything, we've been running the scores during the games and everything. We may put the video camera on Terry's scoreboard this year and do a couple of maybe do some like inside commentary during the games, maybe like kind of like a watch party type thing for us,
like a red zone sort of thing.
And then we'll go over some of the games and scores, what's going on, what you need to know, where to go to watch the games. Terry's tips. How about that, Terry?
Ooh,
like that?
There it is. Write it down. Write it down. Don't forget that one.
Highlighter, Terry's tips between 7 and 10 o'clock. Where do you go?
Like that.
Where's the game of the week? What's the hot game?
Oh, man,
who
I
to
like
go
that.
on Twitter? I see that. We got ideas flowing right now.
I
Terry.
like it. Make Terry talk by
We
himself.
got to get him out of his room. He's always back here in this little room.
Put the camera in the room.
We're just going to put it in there on him.
We're going to have multiple Terry cameras.
That is a 25-foot cord, Terry. It's coming in there with you. You can't avoid this one.
We just need to get somebody with a shoulder-mounted camera to follow Terry around. That's what we need.
That is right.
That's what we need, like a documentary crew to follow Terry around all the time.
You don't even
I'll
want to
do
comment
it.
on it.
I'll do it, and I'll do Star Wars references the whole time.
JP's gonna follow
exactly what I
He's so funny.
that
You know,
would
that
be
would be
exactly
because
what I
Here, the Dark Lord walking down the hallway.
Because
with
Terry
you.
wouldn't get nothing that JP was saying. Or just
Terry
follow
would turn around every 2 minutes. Do what?
Hey, as soon as JP starts talking Wookiee to Terry, that's gonna
Yes.
be that's gonna be the best
That's
part
when
of
you
the
start
show.
making money.
A big internet sensation.
Yeah,
Say
boy.
nothing. I would be
Terry
like, okay.
Terry's whole communication would just be a series of like turn around and looks.
If you actually tag the right people in the Star Wars universe, you might get a lot of hits on that, Terry. So anyway, so let's get back to football and baseball. Baseball will be Thursday night. Friday night baseball will be on WOHS 1390 AM 1015 only. Only on the Shelby station. The second game. First game is as usual. Second game will be, there will be no pregame show Friday. That's on Wednesday. The first game will be on all three stations on Friday. There'll be Brent Pasco and Jeff Jones. But the second game will be on the Shelby station only, folks. For you folks in town, let everybody know you drive around town. Just have it on 101.5 anyway. During the American Legion World Series, you shouldn't have any problems anyway. It'll never change. Tell the folks that come into town and stuff, hey guys, just flip it over 101.5 and you can hear all the updates while you drive around in your cars, going to eat, and stay tuned. Now, so Friday night, let's go over the radio games. On the radio in Lincoln on Friday night, August 17th, will be Kramer at the Lincoln Wolves. And Terry, you got any thoughts on that game?
Well, I think this is a game. I know we spoke of last week about maybe Kramer's falling off, just maybe. I don't think they're really falling off that bad. I think they're going to give Lincoln all they can handle in week one. Lincoln is playing at home. It's a very tough place for somebody to come and play. Lincoln trying to rejuvenate their self, back into being a top-notch football team again. They kind of fell back a little, people, and a lot of people said, well, now last year wasn't that bad. No, it was not, but for a Lincoln standpoint, it was. So we'll watch and see. That should be a good game. I think it's going to come down to the end, and I'm going to take Lincoln to win, playing the game one at home.
Terry, I think a lot of it depends on what offense Lincoln runs.
Well,
Whether it's the big bone or they're going to try and be a little more pass-happy. I think running that big bone, I think that would be a lot more efficient against Kramer because, I mean, obviously Kramer has to go against South Point every year, and they haven't beat them yet. So I think you want to be a little more physical with them, especially early in the season. That first game, you want to sort of set the tone, not only let Kramer know, but let your guys know, this is the way we expect to play. I honestly, I'm with you, Terry. I think that home crowd will be tough. I think Kramer, you're losing some guys. It'll be really the first second wave for Kramer, and I think that's just as important as that first class that came through. But I think Lincoln will come out on top.
That'll be on WLON 1050 AM and 107.5 FM. I even got to update our marker board here, our scoreboard with the 107.5, the 92.3 FMs. So that'll be Kramer at Lincoln. And then Cherville will be at Bessemer City, 1590 AM, 92.3 FM. And there'll be Danny Aker, Milton Baker will have that call. for the first football game in Cherryville on the FM. So that'd be the matchup that we want, right, Terry, on the first matchup ever on 92.3. Do you know that the record, is it even now? Or is Bessemer taking it the slight lead?
I would have to look.
I couldn't remember if you remember. I know you got
Terry's
that.
He's
got it in his notes.
He's got to whip out that 6-inch binder.
But
which one?
Yeah, true.
But this is what you really, just like you said, what you want in game one. Two teams that are equally comparable. When we talk about
now, this is the one that don't matter. Now it's an endowment game, but it don't matter. But it is a rivalry. It's game one too.
Yeah, it matters.
Rivalry in game one. The helmet's going to be clicking at
me. A lot of people get mad at me because I'll say that's not a rivalry. I mean, one team's like Shelby beating somebody to death. I said that's not a rivalry. It's close. If it's close, it's like a Shelby Crest. That series is real. I mean, coming closer. But that is a rivalry. This is a rivalry. When you're only one game separating the two teams of all time, ever since they started playing for 60, 70 years, I mean, you cannot ask for
10
anything
miles
better.
Share a line, 5 to 8 miles apart from each other, all kinds of history against each other. Those folks over there, and like Will, they poo poo it, don't they, Terry? But they won't come over and play us. I mean, and we're going to talk about the top 5 in just a minute.
Scared.
I mean, what does the record show? Last time they played, what happened? They never played again.
I mean, this Sumner County, you want to play somebody to prove it. Maybe their schedule's full and they can't get you in.
Bessemer City ran them. So they call Bessemer the city on the hill. They ran Crest off that hill in the 70s and they ain't come back. Is what happened. Just joking, Will. Don't get mad at me over at Captain Packer. We got to talk about that in a minute. Your boy Aaron Rodgers. I got some things to say about him. So that's going to be Cherryville, Bessemer City, 15:90 a.m. And now Bessemer's got a secret weapon this year, Terry. And we're going to talk about that when we talk about our Hot 5 you don't know about. But I've got some secret info on the secret weapon for the Bessemer City Yellow Jackets. All right. So then we're going to move over to so Shelby will be on Wednesday. So we'll have that game covered. That'll leave us with the Cleveland County games of the week. Now, since the American Legion World Series is going to be taking up the radio, guys, you guys will be on YouTube only. So Alexander Central at Burns. Alexander Central at Burns with Tom Senefani, Matt Royster, Trent Marty, and the gang will be over there doing the broadcast. As always, if anybody ever sees Trent, nice guy, funny to talk to, just happy go lucky as he can be. Now, Trent is the tech guy over there. And when I mean, if anyone, I think everything that's been plugged into that building, he's done. Like TVs, he's doing cell phones and everything over there. But he does an outstanding job over there. I can't say enough of what he does for them. He gets everything hooked up for us. But Tom and Matt Royster will have that. Alexander Central at Burns. Bulldogs have been doing pretty good in the 7-on-7 drills. And, of course, Bulldogs, if their offense is running, Terry, their defense is almost usually pretty one of the best around.
Yeah, it is. And speaking of Tom, I think he's one of our good announcers that you could ever, which all of our guys are.
Yeah, who's terrible? Carson. What are you saying about Carson, Terry? Wait a minute. What are you saying, Terry?
Terry,
I thought
we were friends, Terry.
Good announcers, Carson. Listening to Tom when all of a sudden he'll say Burns quarterback back to pass. He's got him wide open. Oh, okay, now it's picked off.
So, I think what Terry's getting at is, some of our broadcasts, and we have to say before the season, admit it, so these are team broadcasts.
Yes.
So the Cherryville team broadcast, it's the Shelby team broadcast, the Burns team, Crest team. Now the WLON is the Lincoln County game of the week. So if it's Lincoln County versus an out-of-county team, we'll lean towards Lincoln County. But if it's two Lincoln County teams, we're going to be as unbiased as possible, or there's no reason to be biased. So, but anyway, so Tom, he's invested. He teaches over at Burns. His daughter goes to Burns. So, yeah, when it doesn't go Burns' way, he's one of those classic announcers. If you think back, the old Bob Euchrish, Tom, you'll like that if you're listening.
Hawk Harrelson type.
If it doesn't go Burns' way, he does get a little.
I mean, I love listening to all of me and Kevin. All of us will be flipping, back and forth to listen to them, and it's great. I mean, the broadcasters that are doing with their teams. And you speak of bias. Sometimes they are. Yeah. Because that's who they are
team
announcing for.
Yeah.
That's right.
Now, Tim. Sometimes listen to Tim Johnson. I think he's gonna hit his head on the ceiling. He gets so excited over there in Lincoln County. I had to tell Ken to hold him down over there so he don't jump out the window. And they have fun with it, and And then, of course, let's talk a little bit about Crest South Point. That'll probably be our game of the week, Terry, opening up the season. Andy Foster, Tim Foster, Rob Roop, Hannah Roop, our wonderful camera lady, our videographer. She does a wonderful job. For her very first game last year, it rained on her. And I was like, I'm so sorry, Hannah. With her mom, give her the credit in the world. She was out there holding an umbrella for both of them. So the whole family loved their Crest football. This year they'll be at South Point to start the season. That'll be YouTube only, folks. YouTube only. Crest at South Point. Alexander Central at Burns. And yes, Crest, the announcers will be biased in that. So coming up in week 2, folks, our regular, Cleveland County red zone radio type thing that we do, where we start off with one of the away. We usually try to start with an away game, because some of the folks can't get out of town, get to some of these away games. So we try to put the away game on the game of the week first. If it's Shelby versus Crest, we're going to do that first, folks. But if it's all 3 teams playing, these out-of-conference teams, and we try to put the away game first. If the game does get out of hand, we will switch over to whatever game's doing best there to finish up the 4th quarter. And you guys can take that into the post-game show where myself, Dennis Davis, Will Boykins will be in here. Joe Clemmer will stop by some. We'll have Terry Reinhardt's Terry's Tips. We'll have that all day and night. Steve Roberts will be here as well. Carson's going to be stopping by in and out depending on who else he's covering, and giving us his updates of the games and logging in his plays. Terry, go.
Yeah, I mean, me and Carson was talking a minute ago. You go on out the rest of the bracket that we got over here, teams that be playing each other. North Lincoln at Thomas Jefferson, their new coach. Let's see how they get off for the new year, Drone at West Lincoln. West Lincoln is supposed to be pretty stout.
These week 1 games are pretty good.
That's
they really
looking
are.
at across
to
the
me,
board.
this is huge, because this is a game that West Lincoln needs to prove, hey, we are better, we're going to contend, and you got to go out here, and when you play in Drone, you got to take care of business.
Boys, I'm going to say something. What Terry just said, talking about these games going to be good. I'm looking across this board. Y'all's pregame predictions are going to be
They're gonna be
y'all going to have some 500. One of y'all might go.
Honestly,
half and half.
I'm gonna try and keep up and see. I want to keep a record.
We're going to keep a record this year.
That's
okay?
what I want to do.
Let's keep a record this year. I tell you what, I'll print you guys out a thing where y'all guys can go down the list and put your names and check it off. Terry's already shaking his head. He don't want it. He don't want it.
If we get halfway and I'm behind, Shannon, you win, we'll start over. No.
They want to keep score. So we're going to keep score of this fight. Y'all keep up with Terry and Carson's picks. Y'all do know that, Carson, that y'all don't get to defend your picks until Saturday morning. So Friday night, we get to hammer your picks.
Oh, no, yeah.
And Terry gets to hear him pick on you guys because he's still here.
Oh, yeah.
So he'll get to pick on Shannon and Carson's dumb picks. But week 1, guys, seriously, y'all going to have a really hard time making picks and trying to keep your heads above water and above 500 on some of these matchups. All right, you guys, I want you guys to go down the matchups here across our board for week 1. And we're going to take a break in a few minutes after our top 5. But you guys, Terry, read this first board, and I'll let Carson read the other 2 since he can probably see the other 2 at that angle better. Read the second board, Terry. Sorry.
That's what I thought.
Gosh almighty.
All right. First view will be at East Lincoln, North Lincoln at Thomas Jefferson. Drone will be at West Lincoln, Patton at Hunter Huss, and East Gaston takes to travel to North Gaston.
RS Central takes on McDowell. South Stanley travels to East Rutherford. St. Stephen's takes on Bandy's. Newton Conover heads to Bunker Hill. Polk County takes on Chase. North Moore heads to the Community School of Davidson. Christ the King making the trip down to Mountain Island Charter. Northside Christian taking on Pine Lake Prep. And Hickory Grove Christian taking on Union Academy, with Highland Tech, Kings Mountain, and Ashbrook all with open dates in week 1.
And, as we coming down the season, we know we're going to have all them Cleveland County matchups that's really going to get everybody pumped and ready for the year. And also, you still going to have your, can Chase beat Shelby? I'll be back in there again. Can this happen this year? Will it stop? I think not. But, it's almost like Carolina.
It's going to happen.
Somewhere
One
down the
day.
line.
Honestly, a game that we haven't really talked about, and I might come off as biased just by saying this, but I think the Patton Huss game, that's another really good week 1 matchup. Obviously, probably the big one is either Freedom Shelby or Crest South Point, but I don't think you should sleep on that Patton Huss matchup.
Hunter Huss by 14.
I'll take it. I'll take it, Terry.
You ain't gonna hurt Carson's feelings.
No. Terry, I don't know what it is. He just last season he could never come around on Patton, no matter what they did.
And probably not this year neither.
So Hunter Huss 14-0, Terry, or
No, they win by
35-21.
Probably 42-28. But now, somewhere along the line, I mean, we all know defense makes championships. So, that's a big thing in week one. Let's see what you can do. Let's see how good your defense is going to be. Will they be the one that carries you, or will it be your offense? And we have seen in years past, you can have a great offense, but somewhere down the line, you're going to meet a defense that can match up with you, and that changes everything.
The best, I was about to say, we've only seen really, from my perspective, one offense win it almost by itself. And I don't want to say that because they had some really good defenders on that team, because some of the guys on offense played defense too. But that East Lincoln team that won that game down there on the AstroTurf at Wake Forest was just one of the most outstanding offenses I've probably ever seen, just because of the athletes. Now, the defense was really, really good. They probably won that game for them. Is what I was about to get at, is that even all these Shelby teams that throw 5 wide, their defense has been outstanding. All Americans, all state, on the team. So all the teams that have won it have had an outstanding defense, or won because of the defense. It's almost kind of like the Tom Brady teams that have went, and the offensive teams get there and then they've gotten beat by the Giants, and then the defensive teams are the ones that ran the ball a little bit more. It's when these squeakers have come out, and once you get to that point, you're facing these top tier defenses that the East Lincoln's ran into those Monroe teams that had those just outstanding defenses. So and that's what happens once you get down there. The defenses are just outstanding.
Well, there's two that I could throw in there that I've watched in the years past, and it was Lincoln against Tarboro. Both offenses were so good. Neither defense could stop either one, and it always come down to who was going to have the ball last and what was going to happen. That game went all the way to the wire. And another one was Western Alamance and North Gaston. Both offenses were just tremendous. Neither one could stop each other. Western Alamance scored tons of points in that game to beat North Gaston. But, most of the time it is defenses that win championships. So.
Okie dokie. So have y'all finished the board at all?
Yep.
Oh, yes. So you did finish the board. Okay, top 5, hot 5 before we got to take a break. We got like 1 minute to take a break now. We just threw this together off the top of our heads. What we may think going forward will be the top 5 teams at the. Is this our prediction just to start the year? At the end of the year. This is what it had to be at the end of the year. Is where we were going with this probably, because
it needs to be. I think
this is our predictions for the whole year.
Yeah,
I would say so, because the start of the year, how we're going to do it, the broadcast, we're going to. Terry he wants to say he thinks we should start it from where last year's ended off. Give everybody a chance to start exactly there. So there's no opinions, no anything, and then you start off anyway because the record's going to change as soon as we start. So he wants to start there. So we'll officially start with that, put that in the paper. But we're just doing a hot 5 take right now of where they'll finish at the end of the season, which means basically these teams we think may go the furthest in the playoffs is where it means more than anything. Not that they're better than any of the other teams behind them, right, Terry?
Exactly.
Not that they would say that this team would beat that team. These teams may go the furthest in the playoffs this year by our prediction. I'll start at number 5. Now, I got 1 pick in this, so I got the 5th pick. They're the pregame show, so I put them on the hot seat with the top 4. Number 5, I got the Bessemer City Yellow Jackets. Yes, Will, because they do have a secret weapon. My secret weapon is Philip Russ, Terry. He's going to be – y'all didn't think I was going with that one. He's going to be helping coach the Yellow Jackets this year across the line and helping the defense and showing his expertise. Strategery, Terry, strategery.
Okay.
Getting them boys straight over there. Coach Larry Boone this week was named the official athletic director at Bessemer City High School. So congratulations to him. He's been there quite a bit, knows how everything runs, and he'll do an outstanding job there. And Philip will be helping on the defense. I guess defense, offensive line, and anything else they need for him over there. So he won't be on our broadcast, but he will be our Bessemer City call in and let us know exactly how the games went and everything. So we'll have some inside information on those. And of course, week 1, like I said, 92.3. So I've got them at number 5. I think they'll have a pretty solid season. Depends on coaching. I'm gonna say that. How about that, Terry?
So you just almost thrown like Coach Russ.
Yeah, I just threw them all on the It's all on the coaching. It's another kid, none of the kids. All right, Carson, you had number 4, and you went with your home team as well, Terry. So he can't say nothing to me.
Hey, well, I go with us at 4, but I mean, for me personally, I don't want to say I'm a pessimist with this sort of thing, but I feel like I'm more of a realist. But I mean, I go around and people talk to me about football, and I mean, Shannon said that he's really impressed with Huss. I mean, I've had a couple, multiple people stop me and say, Huss has been good the past couple of years. You think they keep going? And honestly, I think giving Zoe Wallace the reins to that offense and sort of getting away from that 2-quarterback system, I think that'll give him some confidence. I mean, he's a guy who, it's not like last year where they had one guy who was a pocket passer and one guy who was an athlete and would run. I mean, you had both guys that could do both. I think Zoe Wallace is probably was the better passer between the two. And now you just sort of say, hey, no matter what, this is your team. And I think that helps him be a little more comfortable in the offense. I think Huss can, 9-10 wins maybe during the regular season. I mean, McCoy's got something going good over there. I can't remember who I talked to the other day, but it's not like there's a set offense. There's, South Point's got the red bone, or, Shelby's got 5 wide. Huss, it just seems like they do. It almost changes from week to week what they do.
It's almost what the other team's going to give them.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they're going to do the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to stop our run, then we're going to pass. If you're going to stop our pass, we're going to run.
Sometimes it's not a terrible strategy or a bad strategy. I think it's fine if you have sometimes you have to do that based on your personnel. So do you know that the numbers wise is as far as bodies wise, they got a lot of numbers on
Huss.
Last year's roster, it says had 25 people on it. So that's very, very low number. I think that might be able to lead.
Last year wasn't.
Do they have injuries at at quarterback or anything like that last year too?
Last year they did not have a very big senior class. I think that's part of it. You've got kids coming in from Southwest, and really Greer now is a big pull to Huss, which is not how it's been in years past. And you're seeing. I think that's part of the reason that Huss has been so good over the past couple of years is because Greer won, I think, 3 or 4 straight middle school championships in Gaston County. So you're seeing Huss get more guys out of there. A little less of the Southwest kids go to Huss now. A little more going to Forest View, but I think it's one of those things. Part of it is a shallow senior class, and part of it is just people don't really play football as much as they used to. To be quite honest,
that's true too. Now, last year that's just this year's updated roster is 25.
Yeah.
Last year they actually had 43, so it's not that as bad as I thought it was. Like, that's a really low number.
Yeah, that's that's smaller
that's
than
1A
school.
Yeah, it really. That's about what we played with
and they beat Patton 49-20.
Last year they beat Patton by 29. Last year Huss was 8-5, so 5-2 in the conference. Good season. Now let's look at some of the losses, some of the games, real quick. JP, we're just going to do a double break here as we finish this up. Lost by 1 at Clover in overtime.
Was tough. Yeah, that was a really good game.
Lost by 1 at home to Hickory.
Mm-hmm. And that was a game that Huss was up by like 18 or 21 they were up by a lot at halftime, up by more than double more than 10 going into the fourth. So that was a game they just sort of let slip away. That's one of those games that every team's going to have that.
Now they got hammered at home against Kings Mountain, which that's nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
Raquel and Mack in the game just brought it to them in that game. Crest Chargers, they won in overtime. Huge win last year.
Yeah.
Carson, I remember everybody the Huss fans in the building here were kind of excited about that, and they had a little junk talking to Dennis Davis and the gang on that one. They weren't too happy on this end side of the table that night, were they, Terry?
They was not.
Huss hammered Forest View 41-6. Lost another overtime game, 2 overtime losses last year. That one to Stuart Kramer. So you had 2 overtime losses and a 1-point loss.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 of your 5 losses by 2 overtimes and a 1 point. You could have won either if you just kicked a field goal in any of those. And then you won. Ashbrook finished the season the rivalry game. Then of course you beat Smoke Roast West Rowan 34-0. And then Weddington turns around and hammers Huss 31-13, so it gives it right back to him. But good season last year, 8-5. Carson feels good about him again this year. So Terry, you had the number 3 pick to the Red Bone.
Yeah, it's kind of hard. Anytime you're going to pick our top 5, if you do not mention South Point, then there's something
wrong. Yeah.
They're going to do what they always do. The Red Bone's going to run again. Can you stop it? Can you have your defense set up to where your linebackers are in right positions at the right time? It's pretty self-explanatory again. Number 3 on our list in this coming year. Some people say maybe they should be higher, and some people say, well, maybe they should fall, but more people would say up instead of downward.
Tradition never graduates,
Exactly.
Terry.
So I got them at number 3.
Raiders never die.
I'm gonna look back. Did Huss end up getting them on the schedule this year?
I don't know.
No.
No.
No Huss South Point matchup.
Well, the
this
last
year.
time they played, Huss beat them, so they're like, you know what?
You
You know what?
You know what, Carter? Shots fired towards Belmont on that one.
Yeah, boy. Shots fired east.
That's awesome. Already, we got 3 weeks away, Terry. We're already shooting firing shots on the pregame show. I was going to try to look up real quick, but I had the paper here. All right, so that leads to who's the top 2 teams, and we're going to shoot some fireworks off here in Cleveland County. So Terry had to pick the 1 pick, so don't get mad at Carson for the 2 pick.
Yeah, no, don't get mad at
Carson basically picked the 2 over everyone else.
I took what was left.
So Carson's not saying there's the 2. He was saying this is actually if Carson had the 1 pick, Carson was making he wanted this one as his 1, I think. So there's a split at the table, and I'm not going to flip a coin today. So we're going to go 1A, 1B, tie for the 1, split conference, split city. Terry takes Crest, and Shelby and Carson takes Shelby as our top 1s. Terry, reason on Crest real quick. We got 30 seconds.
30 seconds to give you a reason. I just think Crest is going to be Crest. I think they'll bounce back this year. A lot of games that they lost yesterday, they'll recover. I think it's another veteran squad coming through. A lot of their guys were young last year. They moved up. They get, I mean, it's like, well, if I was touching West Lincoln, it's the same way. You got guys who learned last year. Now they're older. They know what success means. They know what it takes to win, and it's all on them. So I picked Crest as number 1, and I saw Shelby kind of falter a little bit last year towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that I would really have against Shelby is the fact that you've got a first-year quarterback. And, I mean,
well, my other thing is, too, do you guys, are you worried about the absence of Dax Hollyfield as well in that? But not only the ability, but, he's the leader of that defense in the team. Jalen Scott, outstanding defender. Isn't he going to NC State, Terry? Mm. So you guys got the middle linebacker over here at State this year. I'm telling you, watch him play. He is good. And but no Dax Hollyfield, no quarterback, Carson.
Yeah, I mean that's
you ain't worried. Red hair don't care, do you?
Yeah, exactly. He'll be all right.
So Carson's got Shelby at the 1. Terry does 2. We split him down the middle. Shannon, I don't know. He's a Shelby man, isn't he?
Oh,
so
yeah.
He'll definitely lean that way on that. So we'll have to split that, and we'll put it on someone else.
We did not forget y'all. I mean,
no, we didn't.
Kings Mountain, you're probably.
If we had the 5th pick.
Wait a minute.
If me or Terry had the 5th pick.
I'm gonna take blame for that. That's my fault.
Okay.
Whoa. Let's back. We're gonna back that up. So we made someone in Kings Mountain mad probably because they probably should be in the top 5.
I was gonna say me or Terry didn't have a 5th pick. So
the reason it's not up there, and I will say this, it's not up there.
I noticed that.
The logo's not up there. We were going based on the logos and didn't have the list on the wall, and I was rearranging and decorating the other day. I guess it must have fell off the wall. It's over here in my stack. I got to put it back up there.
They got an open week.
Kings Mountain. All right, Kings Mountain, you get honorable mention until next week when we redo it. Then you'll be like 2nd.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be fine.
In Lincoln County, people say, well, how come one of our teams in? Because this will be another one of them years we're going to learn you. Each
don't
team.
know anything right now.
I mean, every team's going to be
Terry's
different.
high on West, though.
Oh, I'm high on West.
I
sent out a text.
Did I pick them last year? I remember we argued about it. I was poking at somebody saying, hey, you guys better watch out. I don't know if I officially picked them or not, but they did take a run at it, and then Terry feels good about it this year as well.
Yeah, and I even sent out a text. I was kind of joking wise. I said, heck, we got 2,000-yard rushers.
Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah, that was kind of out of context.
You didn't say what team. I didn't know if you were talking about Cowboys.
I thought he was talking about the Cowboys. I was like, Terry, you realize it's 2018 and
Toronto Argonauts. I didn't know who you was talking about, Terry. You were talking about West Lincoln.
Well, I'm glad you didn't.
But now you've cleared that up 3 days later. Yeah. Terry says,
yeah, just waiting on pins and
they
needles.
They have 2,000 or they will have 2,000.
There's a possibility. I mean, you had 2 guys last year with Iker and them that run for 1,400 yards, 1,300 yards, and you got most of your offense back. It's going to set the holes again, and I think it's going to be a lot more of what you say. About like South Point, hey, can you stop us?
The last few years, that conference, we've compared it a lot to the Big 12, where there's just 40 points versus 40 points all over the board, 70 points a game. In those games, and it's a wild west type, and they're fun games to watch. So get out there and watch those South Fork 2A's. We'll have them on the radio this year, 10:50 a.m. and 107.5 a.m. JP, you ready for a break now? Double us up. We'll be back in just a few minutes. We've got all kinds of things to talk about today, boys. We've got to get to my magic list, and we've got to go over some other things. Got to talk Panthers football. We'll talk about that maybe next. We'll talk about NFL teams. We've got our playoff teams to talk about. Who Romo picked to win the Super Bowl. Who's Romo playing golf with this week? We got Romo stuff to talk about, Terry. Is he playing with Smoltzy?
Well,
they're in the he's in the tournament.
Tournament
right?
together.
Des Bryant, is he going to play this year? Terrell Owens is. What about the Hall of Fame ceremonies? We've got LeBron to talk about. We've got Charlotte Hornets. Gabe DeVoe moving closer to making the team. Maybe Golden State Warriors basketball with what's going on with them. Melo, where's he going to go? What's up with Kawhi? Also, Major League Baseball. We got standings to talk about. Atlanta Braves. I can't remember if I mentioned this last week, but I did have a note on Jeter. All-star selections we got to talk about, league leaders, and, of course, 2A All-Star and future call-up, Tim.
Oh, God.
Tebow. Carson, he's going to be a Brave. Watch this. They're going to trade for him. NASCAR.
Dear
We got
Lord.
that. Talk about Terry. Soccer, World Cup. The team I was pulling for got beat.
We'll let
They
Terry
choke
talk
like
about that.
dogs like they always do. Poor England. Sorry, guys.
It's
soccer,
coming home. The
Soccer
team.
and golf. What's coming home?
The team is.
The team, yeah, they're coming. Yeah, they're coming home. I got to watch. I think it was the start of a World Cup over there in actual London. A few games, matches while I was in London during college, and it was pretty hyped place at that time.
I bet it was.
I will say that. All right, gotta go. KTCBroadcasting.com. We'll be back in just a minute. Talk about all this stuff.
Get ready to explore America with an incredible new RV from Campers NRV of Kings Mountain. We're celebrating our country this July with our Keys to Freedom RV sale. Find unbelievable pricing on top brands like a 2018 Forest River Acadia, 29 LT with single slide and double bunks, just $17,495. These deals won't last long. Visit Campers NRV of Kings Mountain to pick up your keys to freedom today. We are the RVer's trusted resource. Exit 8 off I-85.
Is the cost of ink driving your profits down? Then listen up. Discount Ink Jet and Toner is here to help. Discount Ink Jet and Toner specializes in refilling ink jet and toner cartridges. Cut your ink costs by as much as 50% or more. Discount Ink Jet and Toner, located on 410 East Franklin Boulevard in Gastonia. 100% satisfaction guaranteed. Considering hardwood flooring for your home? Then head to Flooring America in Kings Mountain or Carpet One Interiors in Ranlow. Right now, at both locations, you'll find a big selection of in-stock hardwoods on sale, priced as low as $2.99 a square foot. That's right, only $2.99 a square foot at Flooring America, located at 602 Slater Street in Kings Mountain and Carpet One Interiors in Ranlow.
It's summertime, and Carolina Federal Credit Union introduces Visa credit cards as low as 9.9%. One of the benefits of a Carolina Federal Credit Union Visa credit card, you get the non-variable rate as low as 9.9% APR. Earn points on your purchase and transfer with Scorecard. There are no annual fees. Get the same APR on cash advance and balance transfers, plus 24/7 access to your account information and credit score. Carolina Federal Credit Union, 1200 East Church Street in Cherryville. We treat you like family because you are. Save big money as always at Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center in Shelby. Take up to 40% off MSRP on select appliances. A big truckload of scratch and dented appliances have arrived. GE front load washer and dryers, your choice for $5.99. Select models only. Crosley top load washer and laundry sets, only $3.19 each. And don't forget about the area's largest selection of appliance parts. Hendrick Appliance and Mattress Center, 1241 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at shophendricks.com. Unless the Lord builds a house, its builders labor over it in vain. This is from Psalms 127, and this verse is what Key Builders in Lincoln is built on. Key Builders in Lincoln is large enough to do what the big boys do, but small enough to be personal. Bring your own plans or visit the website at keybuildersnc.com and view theirs. They have homes for everyone, so call your local hometown builder. Key Builders, 704-735-0040, or visit their office at 1459 North Aspen Street in Lincoln. Like them on Facebook, too. Get ready to explore America with an incredible new RV from Campers NRV of Kings Mountain. We're celebrating our country this July with our Keys to Freedom RV sale. Find unbelievable pricing on top brands like a 2018 Forest River Acadia 29 LT with single slide and double bunks, just $17,495. These deals won't last long. Visit Campers NRV of Kings Mountain to pick up your keys to freedom today. We are the RVer's trusted resource. Exit 8 off I-85.
Dr. John L. Cloninger III of Lincoln will brighten your smiles with professional cosmetic dentistry and smile enhancement procedures for everyone. Even Duke fans will smile at the work of this Tar Heel. The office of Dr. John L. Cloninger III is located at 904 Doncha Drive. For an appointment, call 704-735-0765. That's 704-735-0765. And John III says best wishes to all high school athletes.
Maybe a punctuation mark on a career night.
Buy or sell at the Gaston Pickers, located at 503 Long Avenue in Gastonia. They've got it all, from antique furniture to collectibles to consignments. And they do estate auctions too. And right now they're accepting motivated dealers. Just call 704-852-7055 or come by their huge store. Open Monday through Saturday 10 to 6, Sundays 1 till 6. That's the Gaston Pickers, 503 Long Avenue in Gastonia. Like them on Facebook too. The summer sales event is underway at Elliott Supply Company in Polkville. Come see the new Husqvarna zero-turn mowers. Get 0% financing for 48 months. Well-qualified buyers may be eligible. And that's not all. See the Patriot zero-turn mower by Skag. Now sale priced at $6,099. Plus get 0% financing for 48 months. Don't miss the summer sales event at Elliott Supply Company, Highway 182 North in Polkville. Call 704-538-8661.
Hello, this is Steve Barger, the General Manager at the GM Building in the Ronaldo Auto Mall. The excitement is high as we bring in truckloads of very select pre-owned SUVs and crossover vehicles. Over 75% of the market is family-sized SUVs, and we now have over 80 to select from, many less than $20,000. We have also collected a group of budget vehicles that went to the auction in the past, but many customers have requested that we keep and sell them in our market, all of them under $8,000. So let us impress you at the SUV headquarters of the region at the back of the Ronaldo Auto Mall. Then you'll receive excellent service like a five-star hotel.
At Stanbridge Auto Parts in Shelby, you'll find a variety of domestic and foreign used auto and truck parts. They can even ship your part right to your front door. Shop their eBay store with over 10,000 parts and ask about their Interstate Battery Special for just $45 with your exchange. That's right, only $45 with your exchange. Visit the website for more information at StanbridgeAuto.com. Stanbridge Auto Parts, 1521 Sulphur Springs Road in Shelby, serving this area since 1972.
Welcome back to Campers Inn, Saturday Sports Talk of Kings Mountain. Get out there today, right off the 85 exit behind the McDonald's. You get a What's Up shopper right there at that McDonald's, just letting you know. Campers Inn of Saturday Sports Talk with breakfast by Mitchum's Kitchen. Terry wanted to talk Kansas City Royal baseball for some reason.
Yeah, he did. Terry, what's their record in the last 10?
1-9.
Not bad.
Hey, I'm telling you,
Is it
buddy,
really?
We
It
are
really is.
really taking people to town. We're taking them out to eat and everything. You give them a good time, and then they come and beat us, and we send them home.
What's there to do for fun in Kansas City?
There's a lot of fountains.
Barbecue,
Well,
macaroni and cheese.
No, everybody's thinking about the Kansas City Chiefs already.
Yeah. Probably.
Well, they got a new quarterback.
They're probably
to look
thinking
at.
about Kansas basketball at this point. I mean,
Well, could be. Hey, farm system might be pretty good over there, though. You know, we're trying to rebuild, so.
yeah, just go down to Omaha and watch a game.
So, are you guys gonna make a trade or anything?
You'll get rid of
Still got
Moustakis?
Yeah, I'm telling you, y'all, he's a guy that somebody's going to pick up because he tried to go before the season started.
Yeah, nobody
And
gave
now
him the
he's
money.
out here again, so now we're going to try to get something for him. I hope we can. I mean, because he still does not want to be in Kansas City, so.
Can you blame him?
No, not really. Not right now.
Yeah,
I
not
cannot.
right now. Yeah.
All right, so we've got the All-Star game coming up. Atlanta Braves baseball on today. They play today
For the
at
D-backs.
4 o'clock. Yep, at Arizona. So Braves at Arizona. Carson, how's those Bravos doing and looking today?
I mean, last night they lost 2-1 to the Diamondbacks, and that was just another game that proves that they need some bullpen help. I mean, you had Anibal Sanchez with a 1-run 6-inning start. I mean, could you ask for that in 2018? Like, I mean, there's no way you can really guarantee or bet on something like that happening every fifth day. But again, it's just one of those things. You want more help in the bullpen, but at the same time, you don't want to sort of give the future away, trying to maybe either win one post. I mean,
you got 2 moves to make, Terry. They're going to trade an outfielder for a reliever, and then they're going to trade for Tim Tebow. The Mets don't need him.
So he can
The
play.
Mets don't need
so he
him.
can play in Mississippi instead of
He's
Binghamton.
batting 270 right now.
Oh boy!
If you're anybody else batting 270 in Double A is getting called up in September. So and he made All-Star
Yeah,
team. So.
he'd get called up to AAA in September. But I mean,
they will sell so many tickets. It'll be the greatest thing that ever happened to Cobb County.
I mean,
everybody forget about the dead body in the beer freezer.
They already have. Don't worry. It's been sanitized. It's fine.
That's been scraped under the rug.
That's fine.
Baseball wise, though, really, how many people would have took Philadelphia to be in first place right now?
That's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of the Braves guys they've said that they've seen this coming, and I mean, it's not like you don't have talent in Philadelphia. It's not like it's a no-name roster. You got Reese Hoskins, Odubel Herrera, Aaron Nola is a really good starting pitcher. So I mean, you've got talent in Philadelphia. I think it's sort of like the Braves, though. I think it maybe came a year or two earlier than they anticipated.
We've been saying all year you didn't think this was their year, that their year early, and even if they do, but they're still making a run at it right now. The season's not over. You're only a game and a half out, so you got to make a decision. You guys are at that point, and all teams in all leagues are at a point. Well, do you make a move now to try to win this? Well, what's the value in that? How much is the value of giving up of what you'll have to give up to get what you need? And I always say, unless you think that move's going to give you the ring, don't mortgage the
especially
the future. But then again, I'm always another one. The future to me is only 2 years out at all times, and if you're thinking further than that down the line, you're not going to have that job down that line as far as the GM or whoever else is concerned.
Well, I mean, that's another thing. I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing another manager at some point because obviously you need bullpen help, but at the same time, Brian Snitker doesn't manage the bullpen that well. I mean, he's a guy who. I mean, you ran Sam Freeman out last night.
I think the Cardinals have a problem with that too.
Well, yeah,
they got a bullpen. they got a coaching bullpen problem.
You run Sam Freeman out last night, and Sam Freeman is a very good lefty specialist. But I mean, you end up letting him pitch against a couple righties. Some bad things go things go against you, and it's just one of those things. I mean, Brian Snitker is like Mike Matheny in that he's an old school guy. He manages a lot based on feel. He is very tied down to having the idea of a specific one guy as a closer. There's just and that's sort of surprising to me considering the fact that the guy who is the GM now, Alex Anthopoulos, he was part of that Moneyball front office in Oakland. So I mean, it's sort of surprising to me to see him let this team be run by an old school guy like that. But maybe it's that combination of old school and new school that's been part of it, because players love to play for Snitker. Freddie Freeman is one of the main reasons he still has a job, because this past offseason, he's been basically working on one-year contracts. And this past offseason, Freeman and a couple of the other guys basically had a meeting with Anthopoulos and some of the higher-ups and said, we want this guy. This is who we want to be our manager, blah, blah, blah. And, I mean, there's something to be said for, managers that get players to play hard for them. That doesn't come around super often. But at the same time, you need a guy who is going to maybe think past just what he feels. You've got to use some of that information, because in baseball, there's probably more information in baseball than any other sport.
Carson, on speaking stuff like that, if you were the manager, what type of manager would you be towards your guys? Free, let them do what they want to be, or would you be to a strict limit? Hey, this is what you've got to have, and this is what you've got to do every day.
I think I think you've got to find that happy medium because they're professionals. Like they're
They are
grown, they're
men.
grown men. They're
Yeah.
professionals. So you've got to give them an element of freedom.
You can't micromanage 162 games.
And that too. I mean, you just can't. I mean, I was listening to a podcast, that Steve Clifford podcast with the on the Woj Pod the other day. I mean, he said, if you're a coach, manager, whatever, when you talk to players, don't do it so much that what you say loses its meaning. When you say something to them, make sure you've got something to say. Otherwise, let them go do what they need to do because most of them have gotten here from their own routine and figuring out what they do best. Part of it is, fixing, I mean, that's why you have hitting coaches and pitching coaches, so you can fix minute
I think those
things.
guys are the ones that deal with them. The head coach, he's
deals
got
with
too much thing to strategize.
You literally
with.
manage.
How we're going to pitch this guy.
Yeah,
do
as
this
a
guy.
manager,
Not-
it's probably 50-50 strategy to literally just managing personalities. Is making sure guys can just be around each other for 8-9 months out of the year and don't get in a fight because I mean think about it. Every person you haven't liked every teammate you've ever played with, much less the fact that you have to be around these guys for the vast majority of the year. So I think that's part of it too. But it's finding that fine line because I don't think no matter in everything I don't think going in extreme one direction it normally doesn't help. But I think you find that happy medium to where you have a little bit of feel and you can trust guys, but at the same time, you use information that's given to you because, like I say, in baseball, you've got way more information, I think, than any other sport.
Carson, biggest all-star snub.
Blake Snell.
Blake Snell.
It's not even close.
Yeah.
Blake Snell, he was first or second in wins, ERA, WHIP, all of this stuff, and the only reason he doesn't get in is because he plays for Tampa Bay, basically. He's going to go in now because somebody got hurt. Corey Kluber got hurt, so he's not going to be in the All-Star game. So obviously the first pick has to be Blake Snell, but that's one of the biggest snubs I think I can ever really remember.
I got a question for Terry. Back in the day, here we go. When they did these All-Star games and stuff, it used to be nobody would miss them because it was, the fans voted you in there. You worked hard. They want to see you in the All-Star games. And it's not so much in the NBA. If they're making the NBA, they show up.
Yeah.
But NFL and Major League Baseball, they'll come up with the most random injury or reason not to play in these things. And,
I mean, David Price said that he would keep playing Fortnite if it meant that he didn't have to pitch in the All-Star game.
So think about that. So he's telling, I don't care about the fans on that. I just making my money, doing my life, and doing my thing. So at that point, like when we talk about so Johnny B made 17, 15 All-Star games or so, these rosters are so expanded or so many Pro Bowls, how can you even value that anymore? Can you?
If it's me and I'm looking back, it depends on what I'll put it like this. If it's your first time, yeah, I'm jumping at it.
It means
I'm
a
an
lot more,
all-star.
yeah.
I'm going. But as you get older, some of these guys have been to so many. Hey, and I know what? I need a rest.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh! Let me tell you something.
Well,
this is the All-Star game. You can rest on a Tuesday night in Baltimore or Tampa Bay when your team's got 25 wins. Okay, if you want to rest that way. This is the All-Star game. The world's watching. NBA guys or NFL. This is about your brand. Where else are you going to brand? You going to brand in Kansas City? Are you going to brand? Are you going to brand in Milwaukee? Well, so this is the chance for that, and then also, yes, it's a worldwide stage. But then think about it. Every day you go to the ballpark, it's about work. I got to be here and do my best and bust my butt. Going to the All-Star game would be so much fun to me, just because I got to do. I can stand there for one inning. I get one at bat. I get to wave at everybody. We get to eat ice cream, and this is my only time to goof around the whole year. I think it'd be fun for everybody.
Free time. I mean,
that's
if
what I'm
you're
saying.
old, well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I know you can bring your wife, you can bring your kids, you can do all of this, but
these poor guys got to go out and play one inning.
Well, I know, but I mean that's just how.
30 million
is.
guaranteed.
I mean,
y'all go out there. I can't do it. I'd rather play Fortnite.
No. I mean, everybody has and think of how America is. I mean, that's just like the other day when you sent out about Freddie Freeman and he had been in so many consecutive games, and I sat back and went, heck yeah, Calvin.
Oh, did I say that to you too?
Yeah.
If people don't want to, we got to go to break. I know, but the consecutive game streak leader right now, Major League Baseball,
the active one,
is active. Now remember, Cal Ripken was what What did he finish at? 26?
26, 52,
Something like that. The record was 21 something, wasn't it, from Gehrig? 2000. The streak now is
what was it, 96?
92 games. Well, it's been
after
a few
last
days
night.
since that.
After
It's been
last
like
night,
94
93.
or something like
Oh, 93. There we go.
90 something games is the Major League Baseball. Not one guy
I know. Not
has
even
played
over
longer
100.
than 90 games in a row. That's crazy.
Well, I think part of that is, I mean, how many slumps the Cal Ripken go through during that time?
I don't know. It's also stupid to play 162 games. So I thought the Cal Ripken thing was silly anyway, because like what you're kind of saying there.
Yeah,
I'm sure
you're playing
he's
him
so
through
bad.
a lot of slumps.
He's sitting there going 0 for
And a lot
instead
of
of going 2
injuries.
for 4 or 3 for 4 one days, he's only going 1 for 4 because you are
dead tired at
Yeah.
some point.
Do you not think our whole sports is like that? I'm just going to mention every one
Talking
of
about
them.
too many games. I
Well,
think
I
I
mean,
think NFL
NBA.
I think
Think of
NBA
how
and,
many
and
guys
Major
all
League
of a
Baseball have
sudden
too many
there.
games.
Popovich
NFL's
takes
not
his
too
guys
much.
and he sets them out on count. They need rest. I mean, did this guy volunteer for that, or did you as a coach say, "I'm going to"?
I think
you out?
Popovich has had one of the oldest, rosters for the last couple of years. So I think that's something. Well, and he's really the first. Think about it. Did anybody do that before Pop? And has anybody really done it as effectively as him since? I mean, he's. I feel like he's a guy who has one of the better feels for his players. Whatever Kawhi Leonard has to say about that is, neither here or there.
Whether they
Yeah,
need the
but-
rest or not, I still don't like it. 162, I could argue. Everybody gets off days. That's built into the sport. The basketball thing was not built in the sport. And I don't care if what
I don't
Pop invented or
mind.
anything. I don't like it because here we go back in the day again. Jordan played every game. Every single person, and it's not just Jordan. It's every single person in the 80s, 90s, or whatever. If they could play, they played.
Yeah,
they
they
showed
played.
up. And whether or not, and it's not, and to me, it's not about the toughness or whatever. It's I got to see Michael twice a year if I could here in Charlotte.
Mhm.
So if my family or someone else's family had this one chance to ever see
no, I get that. I
LeBron or
understand that.
Michael or David Robinson, I went to 5 Spurs games and never saw David Robinson play, and he was my second favorite player in the 90s. He had to sit. Twice he sat and he was healthy. Popovich did that stuff then a little bit, and then the other 3 times he was actually hurt. But I never got to see the Admiral play in person. I got to see him sit there a couple of times. I've seen the Spurs a couple of times. I actually got to see Rodman with the pink hair on one of those teams. That was one of those teams I got to see. Rodman, I think I got to see him with the Pistons one time. We were right under the basket in the early 90s, and he had like 22 rebounds or something. It was incredible watching him bounce around under there. But yeah, that right there is the
No, I
biggest key.
understand.
And
Yeah.
Michael's said that before. I don't want a kid come to one night and come to see Michael Jordan, and I'm just resting or something like that. And that does bother me because look, if you want to set Joe Blow, Tristan
Yeah,
Thompson
you're-
wants to sit out over here in the corner tonight. Whatever.
Yeah,
But-
nobody's paying $200 to come watch. Tristan. I get it.
and
No, I
today-
understand that. I
And
completely-
then, and back then it was like $20 to get a ticket. Now the prices now,
Yeah.
especially football.
Yeah.
What if the football players did that? Like, what if Aaron Rodgers in week 10 was like, "I'm just tired this week, you guys," and all these hundreds of thousands of people paid for tickets.
Well, I mean, think about it. Think about it. Who had the active record for games played this past season? Eli Manning.
Well, yeah,
And
and they just voluntarily ended it.
creepy
Yeah.
car salesman Ben McAdoo sits in
That's unbelievable. Oh, God.
for
They
no
should've
reason.
fired him that day.
For no,
Should've
like,
fired him
why?
that day.
I mean,
I
why do
agree.
you not just at least let him play the first half? Like, I understand that he probably wouldn't have liked it that much,
No.
but I think long term he would have appreciated the fact that he still got the start.
The thing about it is they put in Gino. It wasn't like
I know.
they wasn't like they had a star backup. Hey, let's put this guy. It was
Yeah,
Gino.
it's
Shut
not.
up.
It's not like they have. Yeah, it's not like they have some rookie that they're
What
trying
a
to give him
difference
some
it
snaps.
is. So if you take the NFL, if you stay out there and you're playing and you're hurt, et cetera, you get a lot of respect from the other guys.
Well, yeah, that too.
He was hurt and he continued to play.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in the NBA, they don't look at you like that.
The
They
th-
say,
and the-
okay, just sit.
Well, the thing about the NFL too is every single play you
Is a
actually
car
do
crash.
get hurt.
Yeah.
Like my arm hurt. Oh, I get it better before the next play. My leg hurt or something gets hurt every play
Yeah.
usually. All right, we got to take another break, JP. I know we're behind. Let's go. Time to take a break. Get ready, JP. JP's ready. All right. When we come back, speaking of the NFL, we're going to get into that. We got some Panther stuff to talk about. Training camp. Jerry Richardson stuff to talk about.
Oh, God.
Statues. We've got other football. How's the offense going to come around with Cam and Norv? And the other NFL action to talk about. And then we got to talk about this ranking of the top offenses in the NFL and how Terry's Cowboys are 30th.
That's good.
30 out of 32 according to ESPN. We'll be back in a minute. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Get ready to explore America with an incredible new RV from Campers NRV of Kings Mountain. We're celebrating our country this July with our Keys to Freedom RV sale. Find unbelievable pricing on top brands like a 2018 Forest River Acadia 29 LT with single slide and double bunks, just $17,495. These deals won't last long. Visit Campers NRV of Kings Mountain to pick up your keys to freedom today. We are the RVer's trusted resource. Exit 8 off I-85. Hi, I'm Calvin Hastings, and I just came from Renato Auto Mall in Shelby, where I saw more SUVs than you can imagine. No wonder they're known as your SUV headquarters. Some $60,000 SUVs are priced to go, like a 2018 Buick Acadia, now priced at $31,950. And that's not all. I saw a Cadillac 2018 XTS priced at $36,995. And check out Renato's smart in-and-out service. You get speed, you get quality, and best of all, you get competitive pricing. So head on over to your SUV headquarters, Renato Auto Mall, 4423 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby, right below the Cleveland Mall. Online at RenatoAutomall.com.
Summer travel is better than ever at Red Roof. This summer, earn a free night by staying 3 separate times at Red Roof. That's right, stay 3 and get 7,000 Ready Card points at Red Roof from June through August. Hey, 7,000 Ready Card points is plenty for a free night at the more than 500 Red Roof properties across the country. And the Red Roof Loyalty Program, Ready Card, is the richest in the industry, rewarding members with free nights for only 7,000 points and plenty of exclusive offers and services. So sleep easy and spend less with Red Roof. Summer is here, and Red Roof is making it easy to get away. See redroof.com for rules and restrictions.
Cherryville Public Warehouse, offering fulfillment services, is proud to be a loyal supporter of our Cherryville Ironmen and American Legion Post baseball teams. They would also like to remind our youth about peer pressure, abuse, and substance abuse. Just like growth in this year's teams, Cherryville Ironman High School and American Legion Post 100 baseball, keep positive, go forth with love and prosper. The sky is the limit. This message is brought to you by Cherryville Public Warehouse, offering fulfillment services, 600 Academy Street, Cherryville. Proud to support Post 100 and Cherryville Ironman baseball.
Get ready for the big game with the new Traeger Tailgater from Hometown Hardware in Kings Mountain. It just folds up and fits right in your vehicle. And the Traeger Tailgater packs big hardwood flavor made of 100% pure natural hardwood, giving you authentic flavor and nothing else. Do what I did. Get a Traeger today. Grilling has never been easier. Just set it and forget it. See the lineup of Traeger grills today at Hometown Hardware, 110 South Railroad Avenue, downtown Kings Mountain. There's no one like you. And Pandora Jewelry is opening up all kinds of possibilities to show that to the world with the new open bangle. Beautifully crafted from sterling silver with new interchangeable end caps. You can mix, match, and even have the freedom to customize like never before. Shop the new open bangle from Pandora Jewelry now and do see the wonderful Pandora Jewelry. Available at Facet Foundry Jewelry Studios, 530 South New Hope Road, Gastonia. Online at FacetFoundryJewelry.com. Get ready to explore America with an incredible new RV from Campers NRV of Kings Mountain. We're celebrating our country this July with our Keys to Freedom RV sale. Find unbelievable pricing on top brands like a 2018 Forest River Acadia 29 LT with single slide and double bunks, just $17,495. These deals won't last long. Visit Campers NRV of Kings Mountain to pick up your keys to freedom today. We are the RVer's trusted resource. Exit 8 off I-85.
NASCAR heads to Kentucky.
The fans are on their feet, standing up and screaming, ready to start the Quaker State 400.
It's the Quaker State 400.
Here comes Truex racing for the lead. Trouble. Keselowski goes around. Clint Boyer goes around. Jimmy Johnson got into the wall.
Side by side, down the front stretch they come. It's Kyle Busch with the advantage.
They almost 3 wide going into 3. They'll have to back out of that.
A Quaker State 400. Saturday, July 14th at 6:30.
The Quaker State 400 this Saturday evening at 6:30 on 1590 AM WCSL and online at KTCBroadcasting.com.
Play ball!
The 7th Inning Stretch Festival is back, presented by Bob Webb, Homestar Financial of Shelby. Join us August the 11th when we bring all the fun and excitement to Uptown Shelby. There will be activities for all ages. The 5K run starting at 8 a.m.
Sponsored by Asphalt Pavement of Shelby. Register by August 1st and receive a free t-shirt and race bag. Half of the proceeds will go to the family of fallen Shelby police officer Tim Burkeen. See the Little Miss America Legion World Series pageant at 10 a.m. in the Don Gibson Theater. And the festival starts at 3 p.m. with interactive kids zone with large inflatables, sponsored by Nissan of Shelby, the North Carolina Department of the American Legion Cornhole Tournament, YMCA Interactive Baseball, golf and basketball, carnival food, food trucks, vendors, and free concerts starting at 6 p.m. by Daryl Harwood, appearing on the American Inn hometown stage. Dirty Grass Soul, sponsored by Settle Heating and Air, and Randy Owen of Alabama, sponsored by Cherokee Auto Sales. Bring your lawn chair and blankets and enjoy the show. The 7th Inning Stretch Festival, Saturday, August the 11th in Uptown Shelby. Visit 7thinningstretch.cc for a schedule of events and sponsors. Has your old heating and air conditioning system been giving you some trouble? Well, have no fear. Bill Shuford Heating and Air Conditioning is here. Bill Shuford Heating and Air services all makes and models. Just call 704-484-0025. Bill Shuford Heating and Air has been Cleveland County's leader in home comfort since 1983, featuring American Standard heating and air conditioning systems. Visit them online at BillShufordHVAC.com. Bill Shuford Heating and Air, 213 Campbell Street in Shelby. For excellence in funeral and cremation services, talk with Carpenter Porter Funeral and Cremation Services in Cherryville, promoting the highest ethical and professional standards while maintaining cost-effective service. Call 704-435-6711 or come and talk with funeral directors John Porter and Hannah Garrett, offering you guidance during one of life's most difficult times. Carpenter Porter Funeral and Cremation Service, 1100 East Main Street in Cherryville, a member of the National and North Carolina Funeral Directors Associations.
Terry, we're going over offensive quarterback scouting report on ESPN right now. And Terry, that's the. I don't know. We're going to talk about it. I don't know what to say. It's so funny. It's ridiculous. But anyway, 2018 training camp kickoff event at Wofford College, Thursday, July 26th. We'll be out there checking it out ourselves. Let's see. The official opening of training camp kickoff party is at Gibbs Stadium. They'll have the fans can come out there and get tickets. The practice session begins at 6:30, folks. 6:30, July 26th. The practice ends about 8:30, and you can see all the players that they practice. It's just basically watching NFL practice, but you get to see all the players that won't make the team, along with the ones that will.
Yeah.
So there's 125 people out there running around, but you'll get to see Cam and everybody else do the drills and throw the ball and play a little bit. They'll do a little live action, not too much. Frequently asked questions and other things like that. Where do I go if I'm driving to Wofford? The closest lots it's kind of spread out kind of around the college. You just kind of got to look at them. There's a bus drop off, walking around. I mean, it's all throughout the college. You just have to get down there and look. They got let's see, looking for some other information I can give you guys. There's one on Cumming Street, Lot E's on Church Street, Lot F, Church Street, the Rosalind Richardson Center of Arts, you can park there, and handicap parking only, Jerry Richardson Indoor Stadium. So if you're looking for handicap spots, Jerry Richardson Indoor Stadium lot on Cumming Street for that. 6:30
That's ironic.
beginning. Yeah, I know. Wow. There's a lot to get into on
yeah, there is.
That one right there.
Yeah, there is.
That's the old the reading the tell. I went Anchorman on that one, reading the where to park for the Jerry Richardson event right there. On that one. I wonder if they changed that. God, there's a lot of stuff. We'll get to that in just a second. Wofford campus, you can also park off campus as well there. But it begins at 6:30, ends at 8:30. A good chance to go see that. So. Just Panthers all over the news this week. If you've been watching any type of sports, There's a little article here on Cam and some of the things he does. And we're going to talk about that in just a minute for fun. Terry's shaking his head already. This is going to be a shake your head segment for Panthers fans probably. But anyway, David Tepper's new Panthers owner giving an interview the other day. And a couple of interesting things he said. One of the things I thought was funny, he said he'd like to host the North Carolina high school championships. And that would be one of those cold day and wheres, getting the Athletic Association to travel past Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It's not going to happen unless Tepper doesn't want to make any money.
Yeah, I was gonna say
it's going to be have to be a tax write-off because he's going to have to pay them so much to come that far. Yeah, I would think.
And you'd be lucky to fill that lower bowl.
Oh, you wouldn't even come close to that. You can't even.
You might get both sides. You're not going to get the full bowl.
It'd be nice for the kids to say, "Hey, I played in Panther Stadium." Just like, and I think the NC State and Carolinas are too big for them. Actually, I would rather the games, being at the games and in the stadiums, and I think it takes away from the high school atmosphere.
Yeah, play at a smaller schools.
I think UNC Charlotte would be fantastic.
That'd be a good one.
The stadiums with the all you don't need an upper section at all. The fans coming in the next game can wait just a few minutes, or they're still not going to fill up the whole stadium. They can wait in the end zones and then move to the middle once those are over, like at Charlotte in that bowl. But I like those small. App might even be too big now, probably. But before they built on the upper decks there, I thought that would be a really good place. They would never come to the mountains. They're not coming to Charlotte. They're not coming to Boone. But just different place to do that. But I thought that was one of the interesting things. That's going to be a surprise to him dealing with that, I think. But the other biggest thing was the bomb he dropped on everyone. But he was asked the question. It was actually so we get into it. It's not like he was like trying to sneak this in or anything.
Yeah.
He was asked the question, and they were notified, this is the last question.
Mm-hmm.
So the guy that asked the question, he said, well, I've been waiting to ask the question earlier, and this is just the only time I got called on to ask the question. His question for Tepper was, what are you going to do about the Jerry Richardson statue? Now, remember, this statue was commissioned by the minority owners.
Mm-hmm.
Tepper's about to buy them out.
Yeah.
So he's going to own everything. But Tepper's response was, Carson, what did he say?
He said it was part of the contract that the statue can't come down.
He's contractually obligated to leave the Jerry Richardson statue up, who they forced to sell the team.
Yeah.
So that means, one, Jerry wanted it in there no matter what.
Yeah.
I have to have my statue. Now, remember, he says he didn't pay for it and buy himself a statue. The minority owners bought himself a statue. Remember, he's got a statue at Wofford.
But he paid for a lawyer to write that up in the
They
contract.
he uses tax. After he got $110 million. Now, remember, he got $110 million from the state for escalators. I did the math on it.
How many escalators are you?
That's what I was about to do. I did the math on it, Carson, about escalators. They could have put an escalator on every row in the stadium for $110 million. Are there any escalators? I'm talking about inside the bowl.
Yeah.
Like, they could have put escalators from every seat in the stadium for that much money.
Mm-hmm.
There's like 2 escalators now in the building.
Yep.
$110 million. $10 million of that, a few weeks later after he got that one, $10 million of that went to UNC Charlotte and named the football stadium after himself. What kind of narcissism is going on here to the point? And then he's got his employees calling him Mr.
That's politics.
And the way he's treating the ladies, and he's forced to sell.
That's the most political thing I've ever heard of in my life.
It's crazy. He's forced to sell the team, and then not only does he get someone to put it in the contract, Tepper agreed to it. Then the NFL approved it. How does the NFL not step in at that point and say, no, come on, guys, y'all are silly?
They had to go through a lot of, down a lot of avenues and through a lot of, that was on a lot of desks before that got signed. Insane
to me that even got through, that's contract.
Exactly.
How long is he Is it forever?
Yeah.
How long is the contract? That's what I want to know. This whole LeBron mural getting defaced type thing, I'm wondering when it's going to happen to the Richardson statue, when some good old boy is going to pull his Ford F-150 out there and jerk that thing up, or spray paint something on it, do something. Something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, Carson. Your thoughts real quick. I want to give out all the facts before y'all two kind of went back and forth.
I think it's one of those things like you said. Somebody, first off, Jerry Richardson or somebody paid a lawyer to write that into the contract, into the sale of the team. That means there's somewhere in that contract, it says when you buy the team, you cannot take down my statue. Like, that's the most self-serving thing I've ever heard of in my life. He doesn't own the team anymore. What is it like? I mean, I understand it's a business, to a certain extent. So it's not like it's private property to where he can do just whatever he wants to with it. I understand that. But at the same time,
City of Charlotte owns the property.
That's what I'm saying. How does
Charlotte, they had to prove it too. Did they? Did they not? Since they own the property.
I mean, that you would imagine. That's what I'm saying. It would at least have to go through them at some point.
How many people approved that?
Does that like? How big is this contract, and how few people actually read it?
Terry,
that's
what are your thoughts? Terry's been shaking his head for a good 3 minutes on this.
That's all I can do. I mean, I'm sitting back over here. I mean, you have to be dumbfounded to think that I can put that into a contract.
Yeah.
This dude's going to take this pen and sign it. He had to read that. He had to see that in there, that I'm not going to take these down. It's going to have to stand, and you would still sign this thing. I mean,
Terry,
I know he's
if I
got
save my house,
lawyers.
you're going to leave my statue out in your front yard if I
That's
save
what it
my
sounds
house?
like.
I mean, his lawyers had to see that. Is this okay with you? Yeah, go ahead. No big deal. What?
Yeah.
I mean, and think of the women that he has put through shame or whatever, and it's okay.
They gotta walk
for
by that statue to work every day, don't they?
Yeah, all
don't
the
those
time.
same people have to walk by that statue?
Yeah, and there's.
Are they
where I
supposed to
have a
give him
problem
5
with
when they walk in? What are they supposed to do?
I don't.
That's the big question. A couple other questions that I kind of had up. Over the years, I've always thought Jerry was kind of like that over the years because of the way he acted, the self-narcissism. Not I didn't know he was treated women that way or minorities.
But I think it was an easy
the narcissism
pickup.
was
Yeah,
pickup.
it was an easy
And
pickup.
one of the things I always gave my friends, Panthers friends, little hard feelings about was the Ring of Honor in there. And the statues. So we have a statue of Jerry Richardson out here. How many player statues are at that stadium? One.
I was going to say, is there one
There's
Sam
one.
Mills?
It is Sam Mills. Now, let's think about that. None of the other players, no Dale Holm, no Steve Smith, no John Casey. Y'all want to laugh at that? He's probably the greatest Panther ever. No Julius Peppers. None of these other folks that contributed in a good way on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Now, except for Sam. Now, what makes Sam different to me? And this is me being. Now, I'm going to get serious here, folks. This is me being the narcissistic Jerry Richardson side of it. He still made money on Sam Mills.
Yeah.
That's why I think that's
Mills,
the only statue out there. He's been making money off. He's not here. He's been making money off Sam Mills and Keep Pounding for I don't know how many years. And you keep buying these shirts and stuff that say Keep Pounding, and the Panthers are making money off of it. And Jerry does not honor any of the other great players except the one that he can still make money off of. You don't think if he could still make money on Steve Smith, he'd have an Ice Up son would be the new. But he got rid of him. He didn't get rid of Sam Mills like that. I mean, so that's me being like that. You can call me what you want for like that, but
No, I mean,
I really think that I think that the way he's acting is kind of proven out to be that way. And I can't believe it's up right now, and I would have to say at some point.
I think part of it is just the NFL. Like, I mean, for the longest time, Jerry Richardson was like what the NFL pointed to. He's the only former player to ever own a team so far. I mean, that was the NFL's like, he did this. That's sort of the precedent. You guys can make money and continue to be in football for the rest of your life. That was their whole, argument for that. But now, I mean, like you said, Jerry, it's just. He's so, like you said, he's narcissistic. It seems like everything, and part of the reason, I think that he's put so much of an onus, on the whole Sam Mills Keep Pounding thing is the fact that he's not with us anymore.
Yeah.
It's not like if Steve Smith, if he puts something out on Steve Smith and Steve Smith goes out and gets arrested, that's going to look bad on him. I think the fact that he is gone and he has. I mean, it's not like it's a control thing, but there's no more variables about it now.
Right.
It's a very set in stone situation to where
please
people
don't get
think
to me
about
where I
Sam,
think Sam Mills. I think his statue should be out there. I love it.
But
I
it's
think
just,
every stadium should honor their players with statues like that.
Yeah.
And there's only one out there, and it's hidden around the side of the building too. When you look at it,
it's not
out
like
front.
the Jerry Richardson one that's
30 feet tall.
Yeah, he's 30 feet tall, surrounded by three Panthers.
It looks like Siegfried and Royd up there on the. Don't
it just I don't get it. Like
that's what somebody needs to do. So that we need an artist, Charlotte artist, go out there and put Siegfried out there with him and make him look like the Tigers. Just do something silly.
Paint all the Panthers white.
Well, it all
Tepper's
comes back.
All right, let me get real quick. Tepper's a billionaire. He can't find 50, 100,000 in cash, leaving a suitcase somewhere, and a couple of good old boys take their flatbed out there and get rid of that thing. And so I don't know what happened. I don't know. Don't have anything.
It's a shame that someone saw the need to do this.
I mean,
I was getting to the point that even at different places like Penn State, where they took Paterno's stuff out, you know, and he's saying, well, whether he knew it, whether he didn't know it, everything that went on there.
I still don't know Joe Paterno was there. I still know Jerry Richmond was there.
Yeah,
you don't need
that's
a
what I'm
statue.
saying. You know, I mean, I don't know.
My final thought on it is, why didn't Jerry just take it home with him? He just got paid $2.5 billion. He can afford a flatbed truck to put that thing on and put it in his front yard. He likes it so much. He wants it so much. He wants to see his statue like that. Put it in your front yard. Now, if you don't think that one's coming down, the Wofford one ain't coming down. I would say that right now.
No, everything on Wofford's campus is still going to be Jerry Richardson Indoor Stadium. It's still going to be all that stuff. And, I mean, you know, whether that's – I mean, it is what it is, and you hate to say it like that, but, I mean, you know, at a certain point, legally, what can you do? I mean, he is the one that gave
They can also make the argument that he never did anything wrong with
at Wofford,
at Wofford. So there you go. All right, couple of quick notes on that one. I wanted to make a. Where's my notes? Before we got to go to our next break, we're caught up. So let's see offensive ranking. Oh, no, let's talk Cam real quick. We're gonna go a few minutes over today. We got to talk Cam. So you know, I was looking at ESPN for notes. I was looking for notes and stuff on like teams. We were looking for rankings.
He found
and stuff
a hard-hitting story.
So we found a hard-hitting story on page 1 of ESPN about, you know, we was looking for like Norv Turner and Cam Newton offensive information. No, this is like if you wrote this in a paper, this is a 2 or 3 page report about Cam Newton and his amazing abilities, how awesome he is, in depth. The mind, the creativeness. I'm saying like direct quotes on this stuff, guys. How smart he is because of how many nicknames he gives all the players.
Duh.
I'm going to repeat that. Cam Newton is a genius because he has given all the players multiple nicknames. Terry? Okay. How many nicknames has Ben Roethlisberger and Tom Brady and Eli given out over the years?
They probably gave a few, but not a list.
How great?
We didn't have a story written about it.
Is Cam or Roger Staubach the greatest at giving people nicknames? I mean, what do you think about this? And folks, we're going to go down some of the nicknames. Those were some of the quotes that I could just give out for fun, just for fun. I mean, these are actually some of the players talking about this to a reporter, telling a reporter about Cam and his nicknames. About what was it? Garrett Gilbert said Cam Newton's backup is amazed by the depth of his nicknames. Depth is a good word. Not his pass routes, not his reading defenses, not reading the So here's some of the players. Damian Bird's nickname is Bud Light.
I would really like to know the source of that.
Because he's 5'9" as opposed to 6'4" LaRon Bird. That's it.
Huh.
He's Bud Light because he's 5'9". Chris Manhertz, the tight end, is Blistex. Because Manhertz one time made the mistake of telling Cam that he blisters on his feet sometimes in practice.
Blistex is for your lips?
So,
Cam, oh, man.
Offensive line Tyler Larson is Bucky. You had to dig deep to figure this one out. Larson reminds Newton of Bucky Larson from Born to be a Star. Do you know it? Anyone know what that means?
Born to be a star.
Okay.
Luke Kuechly is Captain America because he does superhero stuff for the Panthers.
I can see that. Okay, that's a good one.
Now here's the in-depth creativeness of Cam. Christian McCaffrey, C-Mac. C-Mac. Gosh, Lee, I'd have never come up with that one. Jericho Cotchery, the assistant coach, has got a nickname, Carson. Cam Newton, in his spare time, has time to sit around and come up with nicknames for the assistant coach. Jericho Cotchery is Clutchery.
Well, that's been around for a while. I don't think he came up with that one.
Julius Peppers. Carson, you want to guess without looking?
Pep?
No.
I don't know.
Frazier.
What? Does he watch Frasier? Does he play the Frasier music? Like, why?
Because Joe Frazier punches people like Cam Newton hits quarterbacks. This is so fun.
Okay.
This is the best thing. This is the best thing of my weekend. I'm gonna send this to all my friends. Funchess. It's fun or fun.
Not Funyuns?
Not because his name is that. It's because he's always smiling and likes to have fun.
He's a fun
That's
guy.
the explanation. Now remember, these are in-depth explanations for these nicknames. Wonder what Norv Turner thinks about this, Terry. About this report. Now we're supposed to be. He's putting in a new offense right now. We got a number 8 pick last year that's supposed to be your lead back this year. You just drafted a wide receiver. Norv Turner's his whole family is the offensive unit, and this is the report on ESPN right now. What Cam Newton's been doing in his spare time. Curtis Samuel is Kirko. Because let's see. Originally gave it to Kirk Coleman, but after Coleman was released, someone had to inherit, so he gave it to Curtis Samuel. Newton also calls him Bishop. No explanation. K1 short is KK.
Well, that's like, I mean, everyone has called him
Captain Munnerlyn is Lil Cap because
Lil
he's
Cap.
the smallest player on the team. Thomas Davis is the mayor of Charlotte.
Yeah, 4-game suspension.
4-game suspension.
So he's got time to run.
There you go.
Oh, that's why he got suspended. He had to run for the midterms.
There you go. Yeah.
Thomas was running for the midterms.
Now next.
The mayor of Charlotte. James Bradbury is Major James. Something to do with Bradbury being bald. In depth. Mike Adams is old school because he's old. And Super Mario is Mario Addison. No explanation. So the whole article, they went through a whole article explaining how in-depth and cool and how does Cam come up with these nicknames. And then 6 of the 15 were like, no explanation needed.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
So there's your Panthers week, guys. Good luck this season.
Cam tips.
So in the we're gonna back up the break and just JP. We're gonna go up to the end of the show, then back everything up. So we're gonna finish this up for just a few minutes. Real quick, I wanted to go arguing about NFC East playoffs. Tony Romo is playing at this golf tournament this week. His playing partners are Carson Palmer and Aaron Rodgers. Smelling a comeback, Terry. Smelling a comeback, Terry. Playing around for Aaron Rodgers. He's got the feeling. He's loving him some Aaron Rodgers right now.
He's loving that job in the booth is what he's loving.
He predicted
not
that
breaking his collarbone.
the Super Bowl this year. See what you guys think about this. Will feature the Green Bay Packers versus anyone of you got a guess?
Jacksonville Jaguars.
Carson nailed it. He says Blake Bortles and Aaron Rodgers, Terry, will be in the Super Bowl. How you feel about that?
I don't think neither one of them will make it there. That's just my opinion.
Both of them make the playoffs. Now, Terry, you've got Jacksonville in the playoffs.
I do.
You've got Green Bay in the
I do.
playoffs, but you don't think neither one makes it.
Neither one of them make it to the final.
Carson's got Green Bay. He does not have Jacksonville. I don't have Jacksonville. Hunters don't got Jacksonville. So Tony Romo and Terry are the only people that like Jacksonville.
In the world.
Yeah, it's not the point of that. It's the point that you got to always consider defense, and their defense is going to keep them in every game.
Well, and that's what did you see Leonard Fournette?
Mm-hmm.
Leonard Fournette is mad at Madden, told him to take him off the game because they ranked him so low. And he said he said if my defense ain't the number 1 defense, just take me off the game. That's what he said. So Terry, your playoff teams this year in the AFC. Let's see how you feel if you've changed your mind since the draft. Now, we did this before the draft, right?
Mm-hmm.
We did this before a lot of
We
things.
did it before free agency and everything else. So we're going to change these up here before the season starts doing an official redo. But we can make changes right now for our next break real quick. Jacksonville, Baltimore, Oakland, New England, San Diego, Pittsburgh. Any changes?
No changes.
Philadelphia, New Orleans, Rams, Dallas, Green Bay, Detroit.
No changes.
Carson, you feel good about yours? Any changes right now?
Yeah,
You've got Rams, Philadelphia, Minnesota, Atlanta, Green Bay, and Seattle.
Yeah, I'm going to have to get Seattle off of there.
Carson the defense is falling apart before our eyes.
Yeah, a lot of things are falling apart.
Still feeling good to Minnesota and a new quarterback, Kirk Cousins?
Yeah, I think they'll get in above Detroit.
So you got Falcons on the bounce back. So if Carson, if you're taking out the Seahawks in the NFC, who's coming back in?
You only have one choice, man. I gave it to you this past week. You have to put them in it.
Giants.
Let me see. Let me pick that paper for me.
You got Minnesota, Green Bay, Atlanta, Philadelphia. What about New Orleans?
Yeah, it's for me. It's between
I got
Carolina.
I got New Orleans winning the
Orleans.
Super Bowl, and Carson don't even have them in the playoffs.
I'm
right
gonna
now.
put them in the. I'm gonna put them in the playoffs. Yeah.
You got New Orleans?
Yeah, I'm gonna put them in the playoffs.
All right, let's do New Orleans on Carson. What about AFC? You got New England, Pittsburgh, Houston with Deshaun Watson back. You both have Baltimore. Well, I've got Baltimore as well, so we're all feeling Baltimore. Joe Flacco right now for some reason. Oakland and the Chargers.
I like those. I'm good with that.
All right. I've got New England, Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Oakland with Gruden and the Raiders. I had Houston. I'm on the fence about that. I think Jacksonville could take that spot. That's or Tennessee.
Yeah.
That division,
yeah,
is
it can go a lot of
crazy.
ways.
And remember, last year 2 teams ended up making it out of that,
Mhm.
which knocked out one of these other teams that we didn't think was going to make it.
Mhm.
So right now I got Houston if Watson's healthy, but if he's not healthy for the season, I might switch back to Jacksonville. I think Bortles will take care of it. And I've got the Cleveland Browns. Hope and a prayer, but we're going to go over the offense in just a minute.
Several hopes and several prayers.
They are ranked way higher than Terry's Cowboys in offense this year.
That's fine.
In the NFC, I've got New Orleans winning the Super Bowl, Rams, Falcons, Eagles, Packers, and the New York Giants as the NFC East champions. NFC East, we had an argument ago. I got the Giants 11-5, Eagles 10-6, Redskins 7-9. Alex Smith has never lost less than 7 games in his career when he started the whole season. And then, of course, Cowboys at 6-10. And the reason I'm getting to that, and where we're getting that, Terry, is the reason I got the Cowboys 6-10. ESPN rankings, man. I got to go by what they say.
You know, them
They
ESPN
say
rankings, I've seen them put people
my phone
winning
just
the
went,
Super Bowl
dude, my
that
phone
never
just
did
went
make it.
dead, of course, when I was about to pull up my link. So I'll go to the rankings. I remember what they were. 32 teams in the NFL. Cowboys. Now, this is offensive arsenal. Offensive arsenal. Cowboys ranked 30th out of 32, Terry.
Okay, that's fine.
It's
I mean, there's no way that somebody can say a team that was 13
You got no wide
3.
receivers, no tight end.
I'm not worried about all that. You were 13-3. You fell to 9-7 without Ezekiel Elliott for 6 games. That would have made you better. And then they say, okay, but you have nothing on your offense. Okay, who are we going to miss? Witten. That's the guy that we will miss. As far as getting rid of Dez Bryant and all these other people,
What was
that
he
means
really
nothing.
doing? Yeah, he wasn't really.
Prescott was better his first year because he never tried to throw to Dez Bryant. He hit the open man, which was Beasley, and and see, those are the people that stuff makes me mad because I mean, what are they looking
so
at?
silly, Terry.
You've
You're
got
being
the
so
number.
silly.
No, I'm not. You got one of the first or second best offensive lines in the NFL. You got Elliott back in there for however many games that he's going to play, all 16 and plus more. And then you're going to try to tell me we got a 30th best offense in the NFL.
Yes.
Okay, believe that. Y'all believe whatever.
I told you that
it's
last year.
It's not going to be like
I
that.
told you that when they put Dak Prescott at the helm.
Prescott
he's
was a better first-year quarterback than he was a sophomore quarterback.
That's right.
Because his sophomore time, he was
because
trying
the first
to
year
please.
they had a Super Bowl team.
No, he was trying to please Dez Bryant so much last year.
The first year they
that
had a
it did
Super
not
Bowl
work.
team, and Ezekiel Elliott ran for 1,500 yards. Is why he had a good first year. The second year,
we tried to
he
please
got
somebody.
He got exposed.
We forgot about Beasley. we forgot about all these other guys. We did.
How does he say that out loud, Carson?
Oh,
Forgot about Beasley. Terry, that's terrible. Listen, 4 tight ends replacing Witten have a combined total of 94 combined yards.
Yeah, you're right.
Alan Hearns coming back off some injury.
That's
Hasn't
a
been able
solid
to
pickup.
healthy. He's solid. Team excited about 3rd-round pick Michael Gallup, but they don't have anybody to go deep. They don't have anybody to get the first downs off the passing. So Dak, it's going to be a slant show. Ezekiel's going to have to get 2,000 yards for them to win games. The defense is going to have. They're going to have to play Panthers ball, and the defense is going to have to be a top 10 defense if they're going to win. And I'm not saying they can't be, but the only way they're going to win is if the defense is top 10 with no wide receivers. It's going to be so hard.
You're going to go back to a couple years ago when they was, I don't know, 50-some seconds left in the game against Pittsburgh, and they're playing in Pittsburgh. And Pittsburgh just scores to take the lead, And one of the first things that come out of Ezekiel Elliott's mouth was, they gave us too much time. And when they went out there on the field, he's like, just give me the ball. And what Dallas do, march right down the field with Ezekiel,
Yep.
his line separating
right.
stuff, and they marched right into the end
You're
zone.
exactly right. And everyone gave Dak credit for that, and it was all Ezekiel
It
Elliott.
sure
He ran, I think, 9 out of 10 plays or 12 out of 30, something
Mm-hmm.
like that. It was all him. They gave Dak all the credit, and poor Romo sitting over here, and then we get screwed. Back-to-back years, we got Dez Bryant catch that was overturned, and then Dodo, Jerry, and Jason start Dak Prescott in as a rookie against Aaron Rodgers and Lambeau, and is just not going to win that game. Now, I've been joking and picking on you guys all year. I've been telling you, I've been serious. The Browns are coming. They've got the offense coming together.
They will.
The
4
defense
wins.
last year, I think, was 14th, and they've gotten better. They got a number 1 corner. You got a number 1 corner to a 14th best defense, plus a free agent or two. They might have a top 10 D. Now, the offense, Terry, your Cowboys are 30th. I've been telling you guys, Browns got the best offense in this room. Hunter's Redskins ranked 18th by this poll, 12 spots ahead of your Cowboys.
Okay.
The Carolina Panthers, 17th.
Okay.
Where's the Brownies? Andre's Bucks are 15th if Jameis ever plays. Where are the Browns? 13.
Yeah, that's real good.
There's
From
only
0 and 16 all the way to number 13 on this
The
poll
13th
thing.
best offense in the NFL.
Boy, they had a great offense.
They're going to have the
last year.
13th best offense in the NFL, and last year they had the 14th best defense and had a number 1 cornerback in the draft. So you got the best receiving core in football, right?
Well,
Oh my goodness.
debatable.
Josh Gordon, Jarvis Landry, Corey Coleman.
I
Got
don't
Joe
care
Koo at
who
tight
you
end.
got out there, can they play together?
I'm not finished, Terry. Yeah, I can let you ramble on about Cole Beasley for 5 minutes. I mean, we've got real athletes. We've got Josh Gordon. We've got Jarvis Landry, who Cole Beasley wishes he was. We got Corey Coleman. We've got a playoff winning quarterback,
You do.
Tyrod Taylor. We got a number 1 pick just in case he gets hurt.
Just don't start 0 and 3, 0 and 4, or he'll be on the bench.
That's fine.
And
Now,
then
wait a minute.
you'll
I didn't
go
get to the running
a
back situation.
freshman
What about the
coming
running back
in.
situation, Carson? Have you seen this backfield? Duke Johnson, Carlos Hyde, and Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb's the best guy. You
Nick
got back there.
Chubb.
They might as well start him.
Look at that offense. If that defense plays
Where's your line
average
at?
to better, what do you mean? What do you mean? Y'all got
Where is
y'all
your
got 2
line?
matadors. Y'all got 2 matadors.
Yeah, but we got a line that can protect Prescott. You've got no offensive line that these guys. He's not going to have time to throw the ball.
We'll see.
He's going to
We'll
be
see.
running.
Browns about to make a run for the playoffs.
Let
They're
me
gonna
know.
make a run. They might go 6 and 10, but they're gonna make a run.
Let me know. Let me know when you find the Rams. Keep scrolling.
And now, Carson, we
Come
want
on.
to talk
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
Rams
Yeah, no, you don't.
because this is where the poll gets a little silly.
I bet it
Because
does.
they got the Saints at 11 and the Bears at 9.
Think of that. The,
The
Bears, at number
9.
9.
That's dumb. But
They
there
got the
are.
Rams at 6. If everybody's healthy, y'all have got a pretty good squad.
Yeah.
Almost as good as Cleveland's, I would say. The Gurley, of course, difference maker. We all love Todd Gurley. We've actually, if you're watching on YouTube, got his little.
I think, man,
statue out here out
you're
front.
sleeping on the receivers. You got Robert Woods.
I don't
You've got
trust Sammy Watkins. I really don't.
Sammy
That's
Watkins
why.
isn't on the Rams anymore.
Oh, is that
big
what
dog?
I see his big name. I thought that was.
No, he's on the Chiefs now.
Ah, y'all good
He's
now.
gone. Yeah,
He's
no,
a
we got
loser.
Robert Woods. You've got.
I
mean,
give y'all a lot of credit.
Cooper
though.
Cup's a solid receiver. I realize he's a second-year guy, but still a
Terry,
solid
I'm sure
receiver.
loves him.
Well, I mean, I give the Rams a lot of credit because at one time Jared Goff was there, and then they forgot him. We don't need him no more, but he is the best quarterback you got.
That's the Jeff Fisher effect.
You
I
know?
mean, you saw Jared Goff with a turnaround year. Then Nick Foles, after playing for Jeff Fisher, what does he do?
I
Win
will
the
say
Super Bowl.
Yeah,
Fisher.
that's what I'm saying.
I will say
We
I
miss
used to-
Jared.
I used to think he was good on. I thought he was a good defensive coach.
No.
Fisher had Air McNair, and I thought Steve McNair was one of the best throwers of football
was,
that's ever
he
played. And if you didn't get to see him,
Oh yeah, no.
he was like he's Roethlisberger. Is how I would kind
More
of explain
mobile,
it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Do
And
you
even
think-
more yeah.
He's a good
More like-
comparison with
yeah.
Roethlisberger, and Fisher would hold him back. They could slay. I mean, you got Eddie George, of course. You don't want to give it to him as many times. There's a lot of times they could just let Steve air it out, and
Yeah,
they
they could.
didn't. And I think it might have cost them that Super Bowl not attacking a little bit
We
more.
missed
and got beat by 4.
Jeff Fisher Day
Yeah,
5 days
we
ago.
did.
It was
We did.
7-9.
Yep.
July the 9th. Jeff Fisher Day.
So New York Giants ranked second on the list, Terry. Just for letting you know, New York Giants second, And the Kansas City Chiefs are first on the most powerful.
Which is
total
weird with a
offensive weapon.
second-year quarterback.
Yep. So we'll see what that does. All right, we got to go. It's been a good Saturday. We got baseball. We got Legion baseball tonight. Cherville, remember, WLON 1050 AM 107.5, WCSL 1590 AM 92.3. We'll have racing tonight. NASCAR racing will be on WCSL. And the WHS today, Shelby Post 82 and Gaston Braves tonight as well. We'll just keep updated on KTC Broadcasting and KTC on Twitter. And then we'll be in next week. And we're getting closer and closer to football season, guys. I'm so excited. All right, guys, thanks for Carson Dockery, Terry Reinhardt. We didn't get to NBA action today, no LeBron today. So I guess everybody got enough this week if they watched or listened to any other sports, anything else. No Kawhi, none of that. All right, we'll be back next week. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Quitting time? Who says it's quitting time? I said it's quitting time. I was the foreman. I was the one says when it's quitting time at Tara. Quitting time! Quitting time!